Chapter 1657. By Ning Bing, Don't Go Too Far. Qi Clan's GU Immortal Leader, Qi Fa, shouted angrily. Bai Ningbing smiled coldly internally. Bai Xiong tore through the sky, appearing in front of Qi Fa in an instant, leaving behind Qi Jin's corpse, frozen in ice. The horrified expression on Qi Jin's face before his death was preserved, vivid and lifelike in the thick block of ice. Boom boom boom. Qi Path Killer moves exploded one after another. Bai Xiong dodged half of them, the other half was blocked by the immortal formation, while the rest destroyed Bai Xiong. But soon, Bai Xiong returned to normal. This made the remaining Qi Clan GU Immortals feel like they had fallen into an icy abyss. After a battle of life and death, 3 of the 5 Qi Clan GU Immortals died, only Qi Fa and Qi Cai were left. Damn it, Bai Xiong is too powerful, we cannot deal with it in a hurry. Qi Fa gritted his teeth. The most important thing is this super immortal formation. If not for it, we would have escaped long ago. Qi Cai looked at Qi Fa with bloodshot eyes, pointing at him. Qi Fa was silent. Qi Cai was right, even though Bai Xiong was powerful, they could escape even if they could not beat it. In the outside world, they would not need to fight Bai Ningbing to the death. But it would be hard to break this immortal formation and escape. At least, Qi Fa and Qi Cai had been trying since the start of the battle, but they had no results. Qi Fa sighed. You are right, let's ask Qi Pingsu to help. Qi Pingsu only had rank 6 cultivation level, he was guarding Qi Clan's headquarters, Qi Si Grotto Heaven. Right now, as long as he came out and attacked with the 2 Qi Clan Immortals, they would be able to destroy a corner of the immortal formation and save the 2 of them. But this way, they would fall into Fang Yuan's trap. Fang Yuan had purposely set it up, the immortal formation did not restrict communication, he wanted to lure people like Qi Pingsu, who were guarding the Grotto Heaven, out. It was precisely because Qi Fa knew this that he was unwilling to use Qi Pingsu, an external force, even after fighting for so long. But now that the situation had reached a point where he had no other choice, if he didn't use it, he would lose his life. Qi Pingsu was already prepared, he got the order and opened his immortal aperture's entrance. Bai Ningbing was overjoyed. I've been waiting for this moment. Saying so, she was teleported by the formation into the immortal aperture's entrance. Not good. Just as Qi Pingsu was about to go out, he saw Bai Ningbing rushing towards him. He had no choice but to retreat. The Qi Si Grotto Heaven was extremely vast, with white clouds everywhere and strong winds blowing. Once Bai Ningbing entered, she felt pressured, her strength was severely suppressed by the abundant Qi Path Dao marks here. But Bai Xiong Killer Move's profundity was still present. Bai Ningbing fought against Qi Pingsu, the latter soon fell into a disadvantage. Qi Pingsu only had rank 6 cultivation level, his legs were crippled and he had injuries on his body. He couldn't defeat Bai Ningbing, so he immediately retreated. He had the geographical advantage here, so he quickly hid in the depths of the clouds and disappeared. Bai Ningbing could not help but frown. The situation had become troublesome. If she didn't kill Qi Pingsu immediately, how was she going to find him in this huge Qi High Grotto Heaven? Even if they found him, what if he ran away to hide? Suddenly, Bai Ningbing raised her head and saw that an extremely thick sea of clouds had gathered above her head. An intense sense of danger rose in her heart. Fatal danger. Instantly, Bai Ningbing realized the severity of the situation. She hurriedly shot down, like a meteor chasing after the moon, descending rapidly. In her vision, a round pancake-like yellow continent was rapidly expanding. Bai Ningbing's expression became increasingly grim, because the sense of danger in her heart was growing. Intense winds blew by her ears, she looked at the sky and saw that the sea of clouds was growing larger and larger, they covered the sky and land, waves were rising and falling, a powerful killer move was being prepared. At the same time, Qi Pingsu was at the center of the sea of clouds, seeing Qi High Heavenly Spirit appear, he was overjoyed. Qi High Heavenly Spirit, you actually woke up. This is too timely. Qi High Heavenly Spirit was snow-white, it had the appearance of a young deer, its eyes were shining with golden light, it was extremely dazzling. I was startled awake. Ever since I was heavily injured, I had to seal myself and stabilize my injuries. But this time, I sensed an extremely evil and powerful existence spying on this grotto heaven. Thus, I had to wake up, but I found that the person who barged in was not the existence I expected. Qi Ping Su was stunned. I know who it is, it must be that Fang Yuan. Heavenly Spirit, you have sealed yourself for countless years, you do not know that a terrifying demonic path Gu immortal has risen up recently, he is called Fang Yuan, even the celestial court cannot do anything to him. Qi Hai Heavenly Spirit was shocked, even the celestial court cannot do anything to him? Then it must be him. Qi Ping Su pointed at Bai Ningbing, saying furiously, this person is Fang Yuan's subordinate, she has already taken the lives of 3 of our clan's Gu immortals. Qi Hai Heavenly Spirit was furious, its golden eyes were filled with killing intent, a life for a life, not to mention that she is of Qi clan's bloodline, I will not let her live. As he spoke, there was a loud rumble, and a huge white pillar of Qi shot out from the sea of clouds towards Bai Ningbing with incomparable speed. At this moment, Bai Ningbing was shocked to find that a terrifying formless force was immobilizing her from all directions. Thoughts flashed in her mind, but her body did not move, she was like a bug in amber. So powerful. Even if I try my best, I can't move an inch. Bai Ningbing raised her head, only to see that the white Qi pillar was huge, it was like a mountain pressing down on her. This attack was clearly at rank 8 level, even if Bai Ningbing had Bai Xiong, she would not be able to escape, she would die for sure. But right at this moment, a jade-like speck of light appeared, the speck of light exploded, the dazzling green light was like hundreds of thousands of fireflies flying everywhere. Within the green light, Fang Yuan's figure appeared. It's him. At once, Qi Hai Heavenly Spirit's body shook, it cried out in shock. That's right, he is Fang Yuan. Qi Ping Su's throat moved as he swallowed his saliva, he had a nervous expression. Facing the white Qi pillar, Fang Yuan's expression did not change, he pointed with a finger. Swoosh. Amidst the sharp whistling sound, an extremely sharp and powerful sword intent rushed up and directly pierced through the white pillar of Qi, splitting it in half. The white Qi pillar's power vanished. Qi Ping Su opened his mouth, he was extremely shocked. I'm saved. Bai Ningbing was stunned, her lips curled up as she flew up, standing beside Fang Yuan. What move is this? Bai Ningbing looked up, she had a hesitant expression. Don't tell me, it should be Qi Xiong's signature killer move Unlimited Qi Si. This move is grand, it is also complex and ever-changing, it can be used for both offense and defense, it was the method that made Qi Xiong famous in the past. Fang Yuan answered, his expression was solemn. Unlimited Qi Si was a rank 8 killer move, it used many Qi Path Immortal Gu as the core and tens of thousands of supplementary Gu worms. It could absorb all the Qi in the world to increase its power. This killer move was quite unique, it had the nature of growth. After Qi Xiong created this move, he absorbed all sorts of Qi and stored them in his immortal aperture, increasing the power of this move. Thankfully, Qi Xiong had died many years ago, even though Unlimited Qi Si was left in Qi Si Grotto Heaven, because of its high level, Qi Clan did not have any rank 8 Gu immortals, it allowed all the Qi to dissipate. Until now, when Fang Yuan coveted Qi Xiong's Grotto Heaven, he awakened Qi Si Heavenly Spirit and forced it to activate Unlimited Qi Si. After so many years, this move had finally reappeared. Even though this move is powerful, Qi Xiong is gone, how much power can it have by using the Heavenly Spirit? Hee. Fang Yuan snickered, he suddenly flew into the sky, charging into Qi Si. Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth, she had an urge to fight alongside Fang Yuan, but she soon wisely stopped, a trace of unwillingness flashing in her eyes. She was too weak, she did not have the qualifications to interfere in a battle of this level. Rumble, Bai Ningbing looked at the sky, she saw that Qi Si was rumbling, after Fang Yuan charged in, the waves became more intense, it was like a white tsunami. At the same time, thunderous explosions resounded endlessly. Life Qi, Death Qi, Sword Qi, Blade Qi, Dusk Qi, Vitality Qi. Bai Ningbing was dazzled, all sorts of Qi gathered into countless forms, like flowers, grass, blades, spears, swords, halberds, beasts and birds, they were like a hodgepodge outside Qi Si, they charged into Qi Si and fought with Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan felt huge pressure at first, he could barely move, but after a while, he understood some of the profundities of this killer move. Inside the sovereign immortal aperture, his time path clone was sitting in front of Wisdom GU, bathing in the light of wisdom as he rapidly deduced unlimited Qi. After fighting for a while, Fang Yuan's brows relaxed as he laughed heartily. He started to charge. Everywhere he went, no matter what kind of obstacles he faced, they were all destroyed by him. He was unstoppable. He rampaged all the way until he reached the heavenly spirit. Qi heavenly spirit's ownership requirement was very strict. Fang Yuan could not fulfill it in a short period of time. This was the information he obtained from Qi's soul. And Fang Yuan's bloodlight spirit suppression method could not suppress a rank 8 heavenly spirit. Thus, Fang Yuan decided to kill it, killing Qi heavenly spirit. Once Qi heavenly spirit was gone, the killer move unlimited Qi also stopped being used. I surrender. Qi Ping Su's body trembled. He was subdued by Fang Yuan's overwhelming demonic might. Fang Yuan looked at him coldly. You are quite sensible, forget it. If you want to live, go and convince Qi and Qi to surrender. Otherwise, you can die with them. Yes, yes, yes. Qi Ping Su was filled with pressure as he was sent into the formation. After Qi and Qi learned that Qi Grotto Heaven was taken, their mental fortitude collapsed. After hesitating for a while, they surrendered with pale expressions, giving up on resisting. Chapter 1658. Qi Grotto Heaven. Puff. Fang Yuan's main body shouted as he stretched out his right hand, grabbing at the unlimited Qi in front of him. Immediately, an orange-yellow Qi current flew out of unlimited Qi. This Qi current was very peculiar. It was dazzling and had a long trail behind it as it tore through the sky. There were naturally auspicious clouds at the top of the Qi current. This was luck. It was a type of immortal material. Unlimited Qi included all sorts of auras. Luck was one of the rarer ones. Because even in the 5 regions and 2 heavens, luck of this scale was very rare. If a GU immortal could encounter it, it was a publicly acknowledged blessing. Fang Yuan was currently splitting unlimited Qi. This killer move was Qi Xiong's greatest trump card. It was similar to Fang Yuan's Luo Po seal and reverse flow protection seal. Unlimited Qi also used immortal materials. They were all sorts of Qi. The more types and scale of the Qi stored, the greater the power of unlimited Qi. Of course, activating this move would not only expend immortal essence, it would also expend the stored Qi. Even if he did not use it, as time passed, the Qi would be depleted. Thus, when Fang Yuan faced unlimited Qi in battle earlier, it was not at its peak state. It was the 5th day now. Ever since he succeeded in attacking Qi Grotto Heaven, he had been resting here. 2 days ago, he had calculated all of his gains. He had also placed slave contracts on the 3 Qi clan GU immortals, Qi, Qi and Qi Ping Su. Some resources could be moved into the sovereign immortal aperture. He had ordered Ying Wuxie and the rest to do it. Meanwhile, he placed his focus on unlimited Qi. This killer move was Qi Path. It was not practical for Fang Yuan. Instead, after splitting it, he could obtain a vast amount of Qi currents. It was a huge fortune. And most importantly, only after splitting the killer move could Fang Yuan do something to these GU worms. Otherwise, if he refined these GU worms, he might trigger a backlash from the killer move. After all, this move was a complete entity. It was not ordinary. According to the current speed, I will need 3 days to completely extract these Qi. After that, I will have to refine these immortal GU. Fang Yuan planned in his heart. There were many mortal GU that formed the killer move unlimited Qi, but Fang Yuan was not interested in any of them. His main focus was on the immortal GU. There were 6 immortal GU that made up this move, but only one of them was a rank 8 immortal GU called Great Qi. It was the core of the killer move. Other than that, there were some rank 7 and rank 6 GU worms. Among them, the one that attracted Fang Yuan's attention the most was a rank 7 immortal GU called Big Family Qi. This Qi Path GU worm could store all kinds of Qi, including Tribulation Qi. The last point was crucial. Fang Yuan had once used many small family Qi GU to store Tribulation Qi and help him pass tribulations. Big Family Qi was an immortal GU. Its ability in this aspect was even stronger. With this immortal GU, I can store and release tribulation chi. This is a great method for me to undergo tribulation. If the calamities and tribulations are strong, I can use this GU to absorb the tribulation chi and weaken the power of the calamities and tribulations. If the calamities and tribulations are weak, I will release tribulation energy, allowing me to obtain more Dao marks in the end. Using this GU, I can also absorb the outside world's heaven and earth chi and store it. If the sovereign immortal aperture needs it, I can release it. I will not have to place my aperture and absorb heaven and earth chi to stabilize the sovereign grotto heaven. The specific situation was analyzed in detail. It was not that the higher the rank of the immortal GU, the more helpful it was to the GU immortal. For example, for Fang Yuan, the rank 7 Big Family Chi immortal GU was far more helpful than rank 8 Great Chi GU. Refining these Chi Path immortal GU also required Fang Yuan to spend some time and effort. There was no difficulty. Fang Yuan had Refinement Path Quasi-Supreme Grandmaster Attainment Level, Theft Path Great Grandmaster Attainment Level, he even had Great Thief Ghost Hand and other methods. Like Fang Yuan expected, he extracted all the Chi a few days later. These Chi currents had their own storage methods. Fang Yuan could not satisfy all of them, so he kept some while selling some to Jewel Yellow Skies. Not just these Chi currents, some of the resources in the 5 Xiong's Public Grotto Heaven and Chi Si Grotto Heaven were also sold by Fang Yuan, exchanging for his own resources. Normally, he bartered with other items. Immortal Yuan Stone was rarely purchased. Because Fang Yuan had advanced to rank 8, he had White Lychee Immortal Essence. To a certain extent, 1 bead of White Lychee Immortal Essence could be converted into 100 Red Date Immortal Essence beads, which could be converted into 10,000 Green Grape Immortal Essence beads. That was to say, 10,000 Immortal Yuan Stones could condense into 1 bead of White Lychee Immortal Essence. This conversion rate was too low. Thus, normally speaking, the immortal essence of a rank 8 GU immortal was produced, stored, and accumulated in their immortal aperture. Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture had abundant time path resources. It produced White Lychee Immortal Essence with high efficiency. He did not need immortal Yuan stones to replenish it. Especially when this replenishment was too strenuous and inefficient. Fang Yuan's cultivation resources were basically all exchanged for other immortal materials. He was going to refine GU on a large scale. While Fang Yuan was concentrating on refining Chi Path Immortal GU, Ying Wuxie secretly came to speak to him. Right now, he was no longer a woman. He had changed into the body of a southern border Yang clan GU immortal. His soul path Dao marks complemented his body. And during battle, Fang Yuan would even condense some pure dream reality seeker physique bodies for him to use. Ying Wuxie spoke, Lord Sect Leader, you have already refined the immortal GU of the 3 Chi clan GU immortals and returned them to be rented out. This is a very good method to control them. But why didn't you use it on Bai Ning Bing? Although Ice and Snow Path is very useful to Lord, this is only temporary. Your Ice and Snow Path attainment level will definitely rise in the future. At the same time, Bai Ning Bing has the killer move Bai Xiong. It is very powerful and makes people wary. Even if she joined Shadow Sect and is restricted by the alliance agreement, Bai Xiong killer move can easily bypass this restriction. To be honest, you seem to be indulging Bai Ning Bing a little. Fang Yuan smiled, shaking his head. That is because you don't understand her. A person like her is never afraid of her own death. If I treat her like this, she would rather die than submit. Even though I have methods to keep most of her immortal GU, what use is that? You saw it in the Battle of Reverse Flow River. Sometimes, I need some people to restrain Celestial Court's people. With your current strength, you cannot execute such a tactic. Bai Ning Bing, who has Bai Xiong, is very useful. With her current identity and environment, it is very difficult for her to join Celestial Court. At the same time, she needs me to refine Yin-Yang Rotation Immortal GU to help her regain her male body. Fang Yuan had quasi-supreme refinement path attainment level. Bai Ning Bing did not have the confidence to refine immortal GU herself. We are too useless. Ying Wuxie lowered his head. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. I understand your other meaning. Next, I will take care of you and raise your battle strength. In the past, Fang Yuan only had rank 7 cultivation level, he naturally prioritized himself. But now, it was different. Fang Yuan was rank 8, Ying Wuxie, He Lulan, and the rest could raise their strength. This was the icing on the cake for Fang Yuan. There was also another reason. Fang Yuan did not have the time and energy before, but now that he was rank 8, even though he was still weak against Celestial Court, ordinary people could no longer find trouble with Fang Yuan. Instead, they had to avoid him. Adding on Fang Yuan's powerful methods to guard against deductions, as long as he did not go into the river of time, he would be safe. With such an environment, Fang Yuan could easily raise the ranks of his subordinates. He had a premonition that these people would be useful in the future. Furthermore, raising their cultivation level was simple. The most important thing was to use time path methods to accelerate the flow of time in their immortal apertures. Even if they attracted too many calamities and tribulations, Fang Yuan could help them. After getting Fang Yuan's promise, Ying Wuxie left happily. Next, Fang Yuan used his free time to summon He Lulan. Let me show you someone. Fang Yuan took out the GU immortal He Cheng, who he had captured long ago. He Lulan stared with wide eyes. She was furious. She wanted to tear He Cheng apart. Even though He Cheng was her father, there was a deep hatred between them. He Lulan did not act rashly in the end. She watched as Fang Yuan imprisoned He Cheng in his immortal aperture. She breathed roughly, her eyes were red as she said through gritted teeth, so He Cheng had fallen into Lord Sect Leader's hands long ago. Does Lord Sect Leader want to recruit him? Fang Yuan laughed heartily. Don't worry, compared to him, I value you more. As long as you cultivate hard and work hard, I believe you will take revenge one day. Chapter 1659. Inside the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. The GU refinement was at its most crucial moment. The huge cicada pupa quietly floated in the air, about 5 feet above the ground. The surface of the cicada pupa was not smooth, it was rough and had a metallic texture. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply, activating the killer move that he had prepared. In an instant, cold winds blew around the cicada pupa, dark clouds gathered in the sky, forming a huge lump as the surrounding light dimmed. Howl, 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 waves of ghostly cries resounded, the ground turned grey-white, pitch-black ghostly hands stretched out from the ground, they were thick and sinister, grabbing towards the cicada pupa. The ghostly hands grabbed the cicada pupa, but they were illusory. The ghostly hands rippled as if they were grabbing something from the cicada pupa, the huge hands clenched into fists before shrinking back into the ground. Hundreds or thousands of pitch-black ghostly hands stretched out from the ground, grabbing the cicada pupa again and again, pulling out the impurities inside. The cicada pupa was only a half-finished product, it was not stable, but as the ghostly hands grabbed it, it shrunk, the rough surface became smooth, the metallic texture became more obvious and beautiful. Fang Yuan had been observing with full concentration, and seeing this scene, he was inwardly satisfied. This method was his own creation. The core immortal GU used was rank 8 Soul Beast token. In the previous refinements of Spring-Autumn Cicada, there was a flaw here. The immortal materials were not processed thoroughly. Now that I am using this method, it is definitely done thoroughly, but there are some repercussions. The cold winds stopped at some point, the number of pitch-black ghostly hands decreased until none remained. The dark clouds in the sky became thicker and heavier. The cicada pupa had already shrunk to half its original size, it was emitting a metallic eerie light, emitting waves of coldness. Fang Yuan's expression did not change, he took out a large lump of fire. This was the rank 8 immortal material Phoenix Cry Fire. The flame was orange-yellow and had 2 layers. The outer layer was light yellow, while the inner layer was orange-red. The inner layer of fire was shaped like a phoenix, it continued to flap its wings and sing loudly. As the flame continued to burn, it let out a clear and pleasant phoenix cry. Puff! Fang Yuan shouted as he raised his hand. The basin-sized phoenix cry fire accurately landed on the surface of the cicada pupa. Whoosh! With a soft sound, the flames quickly spread and covered the entire cicada pupa, burning fiercely. At this moment, the cry of a phoenix resounded through the clouds. Then, the voice faded, but the flames became more and more wild, ruthlessly burning the cicada pupa. Fang Yuan held his breath and fixed his gaze on the cicada pupa. Soon, wisps of ghost chi appeared on the surface of the chrysalis. but they were burned away by the flames. This step of GU refinement was very difficult. It was hard to grasp the intricacies involved. However, Fang Yuan remained patient until all the ghost qi in the cicada pupa had been burned away, and the surface of the cicada pupa had even begun to melt. Only then did he unhurriedly use another method. The dragon's roar suddenly exploded, and a huge dragon-shaped ice and snow whizzed over, fiercely colliding with the cicada pupa. The flames on the surface of the cicada pupa immediately resisted, but the dragon-shaped ice and snow was huge, and with the full support of Fang Yuan, it quickly gained the upper hand and suppressed the cicada pupa in the center of its body. The phoenix cry fire on the surface of the cicada pupa was extremely stubborn. It lasted for several hours before it completely dissipated. Meanwhile, the dragon-shaped ice and snow changed its fierce style, condensing into a block of ice and sealing the cicada pupa. The cicada pupa had already shrunk to the size of a palm. When the wind and snow stopped, Fang Yuan carefully took the ice block of cicada pupa into his hand. Next, he lightly let out a breath of warm air, and the ice block rapidly melted, revealing the cicada pupa inside. The cicada pupa seemed to be a bronze work of art. It was very exquisite. Fang Yuan stretched out his thumb and index finger, lightly pinching the cicada pupa. Crack, crack. Countless cracks appeared on the surface of the cicada pupa. Next, a rank 7 spring-autumn cicada woke up and flapped its wings. Joy flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes for a moment. It was not easy. After many failures, I have finally raised spring-autumn cicada to rank 7. At this step, Fang Yuan had modified almost all the refinement methods he had used earlier. The Ghost Hand Purification method earlier was a combination of Great Thief Ghost Hand Killer move and Soul Beast token. But even though this method had excellent purification effect, it could easily leave behind ghostly qi. Thus, Fang Yuan carefully chose the rank 8 immortal material Phoenix Cry Fire to get rid of the ghostly qi and also to refine the cicada pupa. The dragon-shaped ice and snow that he summoned was also extraordinary. It was Fang Yuan's modified Slumbering Lightning Python killer move. In Refinement Path, one of the 4 publicly recognized killer moves to deal with immortal materials was Slumbering Lightning Python. After Fang Yuan modified it into a dragon-shaped ice and snow, it was more suitable for him and also for Spring-Autumn Cicada's refinement. Because of all these reasons, Fang Yuan finally succeeded in the GU refinement and obtained the rank 7 Spring-Autumn Cicada. With rank 7 Spring-Autumn Cicada, with my Time Path Great Grandmaster attainment level, I can use Spring-Autumn Cicada as the core to deduce an immortal killer move and avoid being tempted by Celestial Court again. Fang Yuan's eyes flickered with uncertainty. Last time, when he entered the River of Time, he was ambushed by Celestial Court because Celestial Court used a method to confuse Spring-Autumn Cicada. Back then, Spring-Autumn Cicada was only rank 6, but now that Spring-Autumn Cicada was at rank 7, if he had the corresponding immortal killer move, even if Celestial Court used a rank 8 level method to confuse him, he would have the ability to resist it. The best situation is to use rank 7 Spring-Autumn Cicada as the core and add rank 8 Spring GU to form an immortal killer move of rank 8 level. When I enter the River of Time again, other than not being afraid of Celestial Court's confusion, I can also expand the range of my search. Of course, the more convenient method was to directly raise Spring-Autumn Cicada to rank 8. But this was too difficult. Currently, Fang Yuan did not have the ability to refine rank 8 immortal GU. On one hand, even though his refinement path attainment level was high, his foundation was not firm and his refinement path methods needed to be tempered. On the other hand, he did not have sufficient wealth. Back then, old ancestor Shui who had used up all of his wealth and even Snowy Mountain Blessed Lands foundation before he dared to refine rank 8 immortal GU fortune rivaling heaven. Of course, Fang Yuan's foundation was already very strong. Not to mention his previous fortuitous encounters, after extorting the southern border GU immortal experts, he even obtained the resources left behind by the 5 Xiongs. One could say, his foundation was already on par with some super forces. He had many immortal GU, even though he lost the incomplete immortal GU house, he still had dozens of them. He also had a lot of cultivation resources of various types, he was not limited to a single path. The only flaw was that his subordinates had low cultivation level. Wen He Lulan, Ying Wuxie, and the rest advanced to rank 7, along with the 3 Qi clan slave Jiyu immortals. Fang Yuan's side could be called a super force. Even though it could not compare to southern borders Wu clan or western deserts Fang clan, it was first-rate, surpassing ordinary super forces and even leaving Chu Du's Chu clan in the dust. I can give some rank 6 and 7 resources to Ying Wuxie and the rest. Other than nurturing them, I need to refine immortal Jiyu necks. Many of the immortal Jiyu that Fang Yuan relied on were still rank 6. For example, self-strength immortal Jiyu, pulling mountain immortal Jiyu, pulling water immortal Jiyu, strength chi immortal Jiyu, unravel mystery immortal Jiyu, dogshit luck, chi luck, luck inspection, connect luck, time luck immortal Jiyu. Currently, the most important ones were landscape as before, man as before, and day immortal Jiyu. If these 3 time path immortal Jiyu could be raised in rank, Fang Yuan's time path strength would rise greatly. His current cultivation focus was still on time path. Even though sword path, soul path, wisdom path, and others had huge potential and room for improvement. But if he wanted to fight in the river of time, he would have to rely on time path. It is a pity that Lang Ya sect joined longevity heaven. My refinement path methods still need to be tempered. If those hairy man Jiyu immortals could refine them for me, it would save me a lot of time and effort. Fang Yuan was very regretful about this. Previously, he had used Lang Ya sect too easily, it was too easy. Now that he lacked their help, he had to work hard. It was fine if it was difficult, Fang Yuan could endure it. But the problem was that his hands and feet were tied, a lot of his time was taken up, he could not be as free as before. There is another problem with Jiyu refinement, that is the success rate. The success rate of immortal Jiyu refinement was not high. The higher the rank of the immortal Jiyu, the higher the failure rate. It was much harder for Fang Yuan to refine rank 7 than rank 6. Chapter 1660. Central Continent. The sky was dark, there was no wind. Guo Fangjing stood on a mountain peak, looking at the sky, thinking about the immortal ascension tribulation. He felt a trace of nervousness. Upon sensing her emotions, Fangjing could not help but laugh. He thought to himself, what's there to be nervous about? The ones who should be nervous are the people from Crane Gate, or rather, the celestial court behind the scenes. On the surface, I only have a rank 6 Jiyu immortal protecting me during this tribulation, but there should be many people watching me secretly. With these people around, what do I have to worry about? Even though Fangjing did not know why these people in Central Continent wanted to help him, he was certain that he had value. A long time ago, he was not willing to be used. On Qing Maro Mountain, Fang Yuan had vaguely pointed out that he was being used by his aunt and uncle to fight for the inheritance. This made Fangjing very angry at that time. But now, Fangjing was no longer angry. In the last 10 years, Fangjing had been through the wars of Lang Ya Blessed Land's 3 continents. In order to nurture powerful hairy man Jiyu immortals, the black-haired land spirit spared no expense, causing the hairy men of the 3 continents to fight each other. Fangjing was also involved. In the midst of all the conspiracies and bloody battles, Fangjing had made use of others, but he had also been used by others. He gradually understood, sometimes, becoming someone's tool and being used was not a bad thing. At least, it proved his worth. If a person did not even have the value of being a tool, they would be in danger, they would often be abandoned. Of course, even with Fangjing's rank 5 Jiyu master strength, he had been abandoned and betrayed before. After all, he was a pure human living in Lang Ya small world, which was filled with hairy men. It was normal for him to be ostracized and discriminated against. We can begin. At this time, Fan Shi Liu's voice resounded in Fangjing's ears. Fan Shi Liu had rank 6 cultivation level. He was sent by Crane Gate to help Fangjing undergo tribulation. Fangjing nodded. He calmed himself down and immediately looked into his body. His aperture soon appeared. It was filled with prime val essence, showing that he had a great aptitude. However, there were many cracks on the inner walls, giving people a fearful feeling. The aperture was the foundation of a Jiyu master's cultivation. For so many cracks to appear in the aperture, it was definitely a big matter. Fangjing's heart became relatively calm, and the nervousness from before also disappeared without a trace. In fact, in a battle in Lang Ya Blessed Land, he was forced to use a forbidden method in a desperate situation. Even though he narrowly escaped death, his aperture was severely damaged and filled with cracks, causing his A-grade aptitude to drop to B-grade. Fangjing was rescued by Feng Jioge. After returning to Central Continent, the injuries in his aperture were healed and his aptitude returned to A-grade. But the cracks on the inner walls were still there. It was not that the Celestial Court did not have methods to heal them, but these cracks would help Fangjing in his immortal ascension tribulation. Fangjing looked at his aperture. He had once been extremely proud of his A-grade aptitude, but after this life experience, he no longer cared about his aptitude. Right now, his gaze was on the cracks on the inner walls of his aperture. To him, this was a form of merit. It was the glory he gained from fighting with bloodfire and spears. "Farewell, my aperture," Fangjing muttered in his heart. As he willed, the primeval essence in his aperture surged like waves, crashing against the surrounding inner walls. The inner walls had cracks to begin with. They were not sturdy. Soon, they broke apart and formed a hole. His originally flawless aperture was finally connected to the outside world. An extremely mystical power was formed. This force attracted the heaven and earth chi of the outside world. At once, dark clouds gathered in the sky, the ground shook and dust clouds rose. At the same time, a formless heavenly power lifted Fangjing. His feet left the ground as he rose into the sky. Providence. Fan Shi Liu, who was hiding at the side, had a change of expression. He sensed the intense aura of Providence. Fangjing's tribulation attracted much attention from Providence. The tribulation started to form. A large amount of blood chi was converted from the heaven and earth chi. The dark clouds in the sky were soon dyed blood red. The scale was huge. Everyone could see it from 10,000 li away. Blood path tribulation. Fan Shi Liu's eyes flashed with joy. The blood path tribulation was the intention of the higher-ups. Fangjing's body also started to emit aura. This was his human chi. Everyone had their own human chi. The amount of human chi depended on the Jiyu Master's foundation, talent, and so on. Fan Shi Liu paid close attention to Fangjing. Soon, a strange expression appeared on his face. Fangjing's human chi was very dense. It showed his rich experience and foundation. Heaven chi descended, earth chi surged up. They converged in the sky and intertwined with the human chi. Fangjing had a solemn expression. He tried to control the three chi, allowing them to fuse peacefully. The three chi had just come into contact. It was the best time to familiarize and control them. Fangjing had already received Fan Shi Liu's guidance. He was very familiar with this. But at this time, the tribulation had already been prepared. A large amount of rain fell. This rain was actually blood. The smell of blood was very dense. As the blood rain fell, white fog started to form in the air. The white fog was soon dyed by the blood rain, turning into an ominous blood fog that covered the entire mountain. Fangjing started to undergo tribulation. He activated his defenses and Jiyu worms, trying to resist the surrounding blood rain. At this time, if he used any kind of Jiyu worm, he would suffer from backlash. Soon, the Jiyu worms in his hands were destroyed due to the backlash. This was also the reason why after a Jiyu master underwent tribulation, their Jiyu worms would be completely destroyed. But Fangjing had the support of the Celestial Court. He had made ample preparations. He did not lack Jiyu worms. He defended calmly. He was steady and did not panic. In the battle in Lang Ya Blessed Land, he had been through much more dangerous situations than this. His mental state had been tempered long ago. Fan Shi Liu was much more nervous than Fangjing. He stared at Fangjing without blinking. For rank 5 Jiyu masters, it was very difficult to undergo immortal ascension. Not only did they have to face the tribulation, they also had to control the three chi and maintain the balance of the three chi. "I can block this blood rain tribulation for you. But the balance of the three chi will depend on you, Fangjing. Before the tribulation, I had already given you a lot of training. You cannot make any mistakes at this crucial moment." Fan Shi Liu thought to himself. At the same time, he interfered with the blood clouds and affected the scale of the blood rain. Even though this blood rain tribulation was huge, it was not intense. Providence seemed to be doing this on purpose. Fangjing underwent tribulation, be it internally or externally. It was very calm, there was no danger. The three chi fused smoothly, scenes of the past flashed in his mind, his physique was also cleansed. Next, heaven and earth resonated with him. He entered the golden period of the immortal ascension tribulation. During this period, he could communicate with heaven and earth. This kind of interaction was extremely beneficial to any GU master. Fangjing suddenly realized that this blood path was quite suitable for him. As time passed, the three chi condensed into a lump of chi. Fangjing suddenly opened his eyes, he breathed in deeply as he placed a rank 5 blood path GU worm into the chi lump. Boom! There was a loud explosion as the chi lump exploded, an immortal aperture appeared. At once, Fangjing's mind went blank, he was at his weakest and most defenseless state. A moment later, he regained his senses, he started to place his core GU and crucial GU into his immortal aperture. He first placed Blood Vengeance Immortal GU, followed by a large number of Blood Path Mortal GU. Within the immortal aperture, the three chi were sorted out, yin and yang were harmonized, heaven and earth stabilized. He obtained a high-grade blessed land of course. Furthermore, there were remnants of heaven and earth chi. Fangjing was overjoyed, with these heaven and earth chi, he could raise his vital blood path mortal GU to immortal GU. This was dangerous, there would be calamities and tribulations along the way. But Fangjing had the courage to choose this path. Fangjing, let me in, I will protect you during your tribulation. Fan Shilu transmitted again at this time. Fangjing frowned, he showed an unhappy expression. The immortal aperture was the most private place of a GU immortal. Fan Shilu wanted to enter, Fangjing felt offended and angry. But soon, Fangjing's frown eased, he opened his immortal aperture's entrance and said plainly, "All right, Fan Shilu, please come in." Fan Shilu was surprised, after Fangjing ascended to an immortal, he had yet to enter the palace, but he immediately changed the way he addressed him, his attitude was so natural. However, the celestial court wants to deal with Fang Yuan, it seems like they are going to nurture Fangjing. In this aspect, I am really envious of him. Several hours later, Fangjing's tribulation was over, Fan Shilu's envy doubled. Because Fangjing successfully refined his vital GU, becoming his second blood path immortal GU. Cold blood immortal GU. Several days later, Crane Gate announced to the GU immortal world that Fangjing had succeeded in his immortal ascension. He had once been tortured by the demon Fang Yuan, he was luckily saved, he would become a core member in the fight against the demon Fang Yuan. Celestial Court purposely spread this news throughout the 5 regions, it dealt a blow to Fang Yuan's reputation, he was alone and isolated, at the same time, it showed his magnanimity. Several days later. Spirit Affinity Fairy, forgive me for not sending you off. Above the clouds, Fan Shilu smiled as he said to Zhao Lianyun. Zhao Lianyun smiled, I will have to trouble you. She came this time because she heard that Fangjing had succeeded in his tribulation, she came to visit Fangjing. It was a pity that Fangjing did not want to see her, he was hidden by Crane Gate. Fan Shilu did not dare to offend Zhao Lianyun, because she was the current generation fairy of Spirit Affinity House, even though she only had rank 6 cultivation level, she had rank 9 love GU. Fan Shilu guaranteed, I will definitely hand fairy's gift to fellow immortal Fangjing personally. Zhao Lianyun nodded, expressing her gratitude as she left on a cloud. For the fastest and most up-to-date novel reading, please visit Chapter 1661. Fangjing's Blessed Land. Space path and time path resources were beyond the norm, this was a high-grade blessed land. The blessed land's terrain was mainly plains, but every once in a while, there would be several towering mountains. Fangjing's attention was on a valley now. The valley was covered in jagged rocks, it was blood-red in color. If one went deeper, they would find that there were large numbers of bloodflower trees planted in the valley. There were tens of thousands of these trees, they were different from ordinary trees, they bore fruit first before blooming. The fruits were the size of a baby's fist, they were round and plump. It only took a moment for the fruit to bloom. The entire shell would suddenly burst open, bursting out a huge red and white flower. The flower was white in color, but at the center of the flower, it would have the color of blood splattering. Each blood flower had a different color and shape. In Central Continent, there was once a period of time when a large number of GU masters raised these blood flower trees. Every time they bloomed, it would be a grand sight. Back then, there were even large-scale celebrations that attracted GU masters from far away. But later on, Bloodpath was created and ravaged the world. Blood flower trees were the basic GU materials of Bloodpath. They were gradually banned from being planted. These blood flower trees that Fangjing had were naturally provided by Crane Gate. More accurately speaking, they were provided by Fan Shi-Liu personally. This was a trick of the righteous path. Fangjing was already used to it. In the current 5 regions, Bloodpath was banned by the righteous path, but ironically, the ones who were secretly researching Bloodpath were the righteous path sects. These bloodflower trees are mortal GU materials, but as long as there is a certain amount, they can be stacked and used like immortal materials. This is the most unique advantage of Bloodpath. These bloodflower trees that I have can also be seen as an immortal material. But now, I already have rank 6 Bloodpath Immortal GU Cold Blood and Blood Feud. I need Mortal Blood GU to use them to form immortal killer moves. Fangjing knew that his focus now was to refine Bloodpath Mortal GU, and then use Fan Shi-Liu's teachings to practice Bloodpath Immortal killer moves. Furthermore, he had just ascended to an immortal. There was a huge difference between the aperture and the immortal aperture. He needed time to adapt. After browsing for a while, Fangjing withdrew his attention and returned to reality. The faint sense of accomplishment and gratification he felt when browsing his immortal aperture disappeared. What he felt was an indistinct pressure. Fang Yuan. As soon as he returned to reality, Fangjing could not help but think of his brother. Over the past few days, not only did he ascend as an immortal, he also obtained information about Fang Yuan from Fan Shi-Liu. This information was much more detailed than the outside world, and it came from the Celestial Court. From this, Fangjing learned about Fang Yuan's recent situation. As for the fact that Fang Yuan was not dead, he had learned it as soon as he was rescued and brought back to Zhongzhou State. Strangely enough, when he found out about this fact, he didn't feel the slightest bit of anger for being deceived. On the contrary, as he learned more and more recently, his heart grew sadder and sadder. As it turns out, I've never truly understood you. Fang Yuan. Otherworldly Demon. Spring-Autumn Cicada, rank 8 cultivation level. The more he understood, the more Fangjing felt his own insignificance. He truly felt the terror and strength of Fang Yuan. Thinking about how he would have to face such an enemy in the future, he felt great pressure and even a trace of despair. He faced the despair deep in his heart. He never denied it, nor did he avoid it. As the saying goes, a newborn calf is not afraid of a tiger. When one is young, they are fearless and have a sense of motivation. But when a person experiences enough, they will discover their own fear. It turns out that tigers can eat humans, their claws can easily tear through cowhide. It turns out that his own strength and horns are not as strong as he thought. Imagination was beautiful. Only after a full collision with reality could one feel the pain and clearly understand the world and oneself from the pain. When I was a rank 5 GU master, I was in Lang Ya Blessed Land. I was caught in the conflict between the 3 countries of hairy men. I was homeless. Now that I have become a GU immortal, I am stuck between Fang Yuan and the Celestial Court. I have become a pawn of the Celestial Court. My strength has far surpassed what it was before, but unfortunately, the situation is even more out of my control, and the danger is even greater. If anything goes wrong, I'm afraid I'll die. Thinking of this, Fangjing could not help but smile bitterly. Even now, he did not know what value he had that the Celestial Court placed so much importance on him. Soon, he thought of Zhao Lianyun. After his immortal ascension, he received some congratulatory gifts. This was a custom of the 5 regions. Every time a GU master succeeds in immortal ascension, his or her friends and family, as well as their forces, would send congratulatory gifts. Fangjing's gifts mostly came from Crane Gate, so Zhao Lianyun's gift was quite unique. From Crane Gate's information channel, Fangjing had a comprehensive understanding of Zhao Lianyun. You are also an otherworldly demon, but you are not complete. You took the initiative to contact me. Are you trying to ally with me to deal with Fang Yuan? Zhao Lianyun's gift contained a letter. The letter expressed Zhao Lianyun's goodwill. but did not say anything else. Fang Jing, however, understood Zhao Lianyun's intention. Zhao Lianyun's gift was a blood crystal nurturing method. It was extremely suitable for Fang Jing. In the letter, she even described her understanding of Gu immortal cultivation. There was a paragraph that made Fang Jing pay attention to it. In Gu immortal cultivation, fighting is the dominant path, while managing the immortal aperture is the king path. The two complement each other and cannot be lacking. Without sufficient battle strength and dominance, no matter how well the immortal aperture is managed, you will only be bullied by others. Your hard-earned gains will become someone else's spoils of war. On the other hand, if your battle strength is strong but your immortal aperture foundation is insufficient, you will be like a burning bonfire. You can only be strong for a while. When the wood burns out, you will be nothing more than a firework. Fang Jing nodded slightly, thinking to himself, other than this paragraph, there is also the description of the calamities and tribulations. They are all insightful. This shows that Zhao Lianyun is truly sincere. It is a pity. I wanted to meet him once, but Crane Gate did not allow it. It is such a pity. Don't you think so, Fang Yuan? Saying this, Fang Jing's gaze froze. In his early days of cultivation, he had his Master Tensuru as his companion. In Lang Ya Blessed Land, he pretended to be with Fang Yuan. Only when he was rescued and brought back to Central Continent, did he become alone. Unknowingly, Fang Jing had already gotten used to having people accompanying him. Without you, I am indeed not used to it. Fang Jing shook his head and smiled bitterly. An indescribable loneliness filled his heart. Celestial Court. Fairy Myrtle smiled in relief. Fang Jing has already become a Gu immortal, but he still needs to raise his cultivation level to be able to restrain Fang Yuan. Fairy Myrtle was aware of Zhao Lianyun's intentions. After all, even though Ma Hongyun was dead, his soul was still in Fang Yuan's hands. Fairy Myrtle frowned slightly. The true problem is Fang Yuan himself. Ever since Fang Yuan broke out of the encirclement in the River of Time, he had vanished without a trace, never appearing in public again. Fairy Myrtle would rather he plunder resources. This way, the more clues Fang Yuan left behind, the more valuable things she could deduce. She could even break through Fang Yuan's wisdom path defenses. In Fairy Myrtle's opinion, Fang Yuan had great battle strength, but what was more terrifying was his management skills. Every time he endured for a period of time, the strength he displayed would increase by leaps and bounds. The rate of improvement was often shocking. This was the effect of his management skills. Only a sturdy foundation could support his terrifying combat strength. Right now, Spectral Soul is gradually losing control. The information obtained from soul searching is becoming more and more important. In the River of Time, the Time Path Immortal Gu houses have been repaired. There are 4 of them now. The Time Path formation needs to be modified. At the same time, I cannot let Fang Yuan have a good time. I need to contact Wu Yong. Several days later. Intense winds blew. Fang Yuan pushed his palm. A powerful killer move entered the opened door and entered Lulan Blessed Land. The tribulation that He Lulan was facing crumbled and dissipated. He Lulan's eyelids twitched slightly before her expression calmed down. She stood in her immortal aperture, cupping her fists towards Fang Yuan who was outside the door. No need to be polite. Fang Yuan took a glance at Lulan Blessed Land. Lulan Blessed Land was barren and could not compare to the sovereign immortal aperture. Even though He Lulan had high aptitude, she had never managed her immortal aperture properly. But this was what Fang Yuan wanted. He could provide cultivation resources to He Lulan. He Lulan would rely on him in this aspect. It was a form of control over He Lulan. In fact, Ying Wu Xie, Bai Ning Bing, and the rest were in the same situation. Let's leave this place. My wisdom path methods can only defend for a while. Every tribulation will greatly affect my methods. Fang Yuan urged. Millimeter. He Lulan nodded. She did not dare to be careless. She quickly stored the blessed land and entered the sovereign immortal aperture. Fang Yuan used fixed immortal travel to retreat. Wu Yong and the rest who were rushing over could not find him. Damn it. He escaped again. This remnant aura, someone is undergoing tribulation again. Southern Borders Gu immortals had ugly expressions. Some were furious, some were silent, and some showed a trace of fear. This is the 4th. It is clear that Fang Yuan is helping his lackeys undergo tribulation to raise their cultivation level. If he continues like this, it will not be good. Wu Yong's expression was grim, a cold light flashed in his eyes as he said slowly, Fang Yuan has fixed immortal travel, he can escape very quickly, we can only set up beacon towers and work together in jewel yellow skies to restrict his business and weaken his profits. Over time, we will gain an advantage. Jade light flashed in Qi Grotto heaven, Fang Yuan appeared out of nowhere. We are safe for now. They are starting to restrict my business in jewel yellow skies. Fang Yuan smiled coldly. He felt pressure indeed, but he had recently annexed the 5 Xiong's public grotto heaven and Qi grotto heaven. He obtained a lot of resources. Even if he was suppressed, it did not affect the overall situation. But this was clearly the result of the cooperation between the Celestial Court and the Southern Border Alliance. If this continued, as time passed, even Fang Yuan would not be able to endure it. He obtained a lot of cultivation resources from the Southern Border GU immortal captives, but Southern Border's righteous path knew this. Most of his transactions were blocked. I need to think of a way. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed with a contemplative light. For the fastest and error-free novel reading, please visit Chapter 1662. Eastern Sea. Swish, swish, swish. Waves surged, hitting the rocks on the island and causing them to explode into white foam. Winds howled, the weather was gloomy. This uninhabited island was very inconspicuous in the huge Eastern Sea, but there were 4 GU immortals hiding here. Ren Xiaoping, you are too much. Miao Mingshen growled, his eyes were red, he had injuries on his body, he showed intense anger and hatred. He was a famous lone cultivator in Eastern Sea, he had rank 7 cultivation level and cultivated space path, he had methods to expand immortal aperture space. He made a living out of this, he helped many Eastern Sea GU immortals expand their immortal aperture space, he was very popular. Miao Mingshen was neither tall nor short, he was neither fat nor skinny, his appearance was above average, his facial features were ordinary, only his wide nose left a deep impression. In terms of appearance, this person was not outstanding. But he had great ambitions, he was skilled at treating others with humility, he had quite the charisma. Eastern Sea's 3 lone immortals, Immortal Hua Dai, Fengjiang, and Gui Qiyi, followed Miao Mingshen's lead, the 4 of them formed a strong group. But at this moment, Gui Qiyi was unconscious, his skin was emitting a poisonous purple color, he was in danger. Fengjiang and Immortal Hua Dai, who were standing beside Miao Mingshen, were also in a sorry state, they had clearly gone through a huge battle, they were injured. Lord Miao Mingshen, what do we do now? Gui Qiyi was hit by the ice poison starfish stinger, we cannot detoxify this poison. Immortal Hua Dai was worried. Not long ago, the 4 of them had fallen for Ren Xiaoping's trap. Ren Xiaoping had rank 7 peak cultivation level, he was an enslavement path GU immortal, he enslaved the ice poison starfish to assassinate Miao Mingshen. But at the crucial moment, Gui Qiyi blocked this fatal attack for Miao Mingshen. Miao Mingshen reacted, he quickly brought the unconscious Gui Qiyi, Fengjiang, and Immortal Hua Dai out of the encirclement. Fengjiang's expression was cold, even though the ice poison starfish stinger is troublesome, I heard that Su Chen and Fairy Ju you can save it. Su Chen was a member of a super force, Su clan, he was skilled in healing, he was famous in Eastern Sea, he was a kind person. On the other hand, Fairy Juyue was a loose cultivator with a cold temperament. If one wanted to ask her to save Gui Qiyi, the price would be much higher. Miao Mingshen shook his head, I do not intend to invite either of them. Su Chen is a member of the Su family, and Fairy Juyue has a secret relationship with Ren Xiaoping. Ordinary people don't know this, but I do. I suspect that Fairy Juyue might be a trap set up by that old thief Ren Xiaoping. Ah, then. Immortal Hua Dai hesitated. Miao Mingshen squeezed out a smile. Have you forgotten? The poison of the ice poison starfish can be washed away by the yellow hell water. Fengjiang stared with wide eyes. Underworld yellow water is a rank 8 immortal material. It is rare even in Eastern Sea. Lord, you have it? Miao Mingshen shook his head. Of course not. I plan to exchange the universe extreme route at jewel yellow skies. Feng Jiang and Immortal Hua Dai immediately understood. Extreme Time Root was a time path rank 8 immortal material. It landed in Miao Ming Shen's hands a long time ago. He had been keeping it and not willing to sell it. Feng Jiang and Immortal Hua Dai knew about this. Immortal Hua Dai's expression changed. She said reluctantly, "Extreme Time Root is a rare item even among rank 8 immortal materials. Lord, why don't you exchange it for other rank 8 immortal materials and exchange for the yellow hell water?" Miao Ming Shen shook his head again. Rank 8 immortal materials are basically traded with other items. If I use other immortal materials to exchange for the yellow hell water, there might not be anyone who wants my rank 8 immortal material, and even if someone wants my rank 8 immortal material, they might not have the yellow hell water. But now, you know that Celestial Court, Southern Border's Righteous Path, and other forces are working together to restrain Fang Yuan. Not only are they suppressing his businesses, they are also buying Time Path immortal materials with all their might. Time Path immortal materials are in high demand. Their prices are rising rapidly. Celestial Court is a huge force. They will definitely have the yellow hell water. I can use the Universe Extreme Route to exchange for the yellow hell water. Lord. Feng Jiang's tone was hoarse. He knew that Miao Ming Shen almost died in order to obtain this Universe Extreme Route. He paid a huge price. Miao Ming Shen laughed heartily, patting Feng Jiang's shoulder. "How can I let this old man die in front of me? What does a mere extreme universe route count for?" Feng Jiang and Immortal Hua Dai were very moved. They did not follow the wrong person. Sure enough, the following situation was as Miao Ming Shen expected. The moment his universe extreme route appeared, Celestial Court noticed it. Soon, both sides completed the transaction. Miao Ming Shen obtained a large amount of yellow hell water. He used the yellow hell water to cleanse Gui Qiyi's body. He carefully controlled the amount. After all, this yellow hell water could corrode the body of an unguarded Gu immortal. After careful cleansing, the ice poison starfish poison was completely dispelled. Not long after, Gui Qiyi slowly opened his eyes. He woke up. When he learned that Miao Ming Shen paid such a huge price to save him, he could not help but feel emotional. However, he rarely showed his emotions. He kept his gratitude to himself and said to Miao Ming Shen, "Lord, that old scoundrel Ren Xiaoping suddenly attacked us. It is most likely because of that blue dragon whale." Miao Ming Shen sighed. "I think so too. That old scoundrel Ren Xiaoping has always wanted to cooperate with me to enter the blue dragon whale and dig out the Paradise Earth true inheritance. However, the price he offered had never been sincere. This time, he actually attacked me. I was caught off guard. Old scoundrel, just tell me what you think." Gui Qiyi nodded. "Lord, outsiders already know that you know the location of the blue dragon whale. It was too difficult to keep this secret any longer. Why don't we invite others to explore the blue dragon whale together? After we obtain some gains and get stronger, we can deal with Ren Xiaoping. Otherwise, with our current strength, it will be hard to determine who has the upper hand against Ren Xiaoping. That old scoundrel Ren Xiaoping has a group of lone immortals with him. He is a crafty old fox. If he finds himself in a bad situation, he will spread the news and attract even more attention." Miao Ming Shen's eyes shined with divine light. "Rather than that and let Ren Xiaoping attract even more outsiders, why don't we get reinforcements now and attack directly? This is a good idea. It is the only way now. It is a pity. If I had rank 8 cultivation level, I would be able to explore it myself." Gui Qiyi added, "Lord, we need to select the people we want to invite carefully." Miao Ming Shen nodded. He looked at the three immortals and asked, "I understand this. Do you have any recommendations?" The three immortals reported their names. Miao Ming Shen nodded and shook his head at times. He chose a group of people, but for safety's sake, he eliminated another group of people from the group. Reliability was the most important thing. But this way, there were fewer people. Even if the immortals worked together, they could not overcome the first obstacle. They could not enter the blue dragon whale's inner world. At this time, Immortal Hua Dai exclaimed, "I have a candidate. Do you remember Chu Ying?" Chu Ying. Miao Ming Shen's eyes brightened. "Amazing. This person has rank 7 cultivation level. He cultivates transformation path, and most importantly, he has enmity with Ren Xiaoping. But this person is too secretive. Even now, I have not been able to find out more about him. Saying so, he showed a hesitant expression. For the fastest novel reading without errors, please visit Chapter 1663. Paradise Earth's True Inheritance. Within the Five Xiong's public grotto heaven, Fang Yuan received a letter from Miao Ming-shen, inviting him to participate in the Blue Dragon Whale's exploration. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed with a contemplative light. Miao Ming-shen actually had a conflict with Ren Xiaoping and started exploring the Blue Dragon Whale ahead of time. This was out of Fang Yuan's expectations. In his 500 years of memories, this was already ahead of time. Maybe my rebirth caused all kinds of changes to spread, causing the conflict between Miao Ming-shen and Ren Xiaoping to happen ahead of time. Or maybe there is something wrong with my 500 years of memories from my previous life. After all, Providence was hidden in the spring-autumn cicada. It was very convenient for it to do something. There is another possibility, that is, the Celestial Court secretly deduced my relationship with Miao Ming-shen and wanted to use this opportunity to scheme against me again. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan calmed down and slowly closed his eyes, starting to deduce. After a long time, he opened his eyes and concluded, according to the current clues, the possibility of the Celestial Court scheming against me is not high. It seems I have to make a trip to Eastern Sea. Among the 5 regions, Central Continent and Northern Plains were extremely dangerous to Fang Yuan because of the Celestial Court and Longevity Heaven. As for the remaining 3 regions, Eastern Sea, Western Desert, and Southern Border, Fang Yuan was most familiar with Southern Border. Especially when Fang Yuan had been hiding in Wu Clan for some time, he had captured many Southern Border experts, thus he knew a lot of information about the various clans. Another reason was that the Shadow Sect's headquarters was set up in Southern Border. The Shadow Sect had the most operations in Southern Border. They also secretly had many natural immortal formations and other places. These were all hidden in the dark and were not exposed. All kinds of reasons made Fang Yuan choose to stay in Southern Border. Even when He Lulan and the others underwent tribulation, they were in Southern Border. Although there were differences in heaven and earth chi in the 5 regions, forcefully undergoing tribulation in a foreign land would damage the immortal aperture. However, Fang Yuan himself did not want them to manage their immortal apertures well. Fang Yuan was in charge of their cultivation resources, which meant that he had strong control over them. During this period of time, Fang Yuan had already refined all of the immortal GU in Qi Si Grotto Heaven for his own use. The resources in the Qi Si Grotto Heaven and the 5 Xiong's public Grotto Heaven were also being digested. The remaining rank 9 immortal killer move heaven form was rather stubborn. It resisted Fang Yuan's refinement. However, there was still a lot of progress. In time, it would definitely be useful to Fang Yuan. What troubled Fang Yuan was that his family's many trades in the Jewel Yellow Skies were jointly suppressed by the Celestial Court of Zhengzhou State and the alliance of the decent sects in Nanjiang, which formed a huge economic blockade. Fang Yuan had thought of many ways to compete with them in a battle of wits and strength, but the results were not good. Be it Central Continent's Celestial Court or Southern Border's alliance of the decent sects, they were both wealthy and had deep foundations. Fang Yuan's capital could not compare to these 2 behemoths. The most direct way to solve this problem was to monopolize the business of Guts GU. However, this method required a huge amount of Guts GU. Unfortunately, Fang Yuan lacked soul cores. Even though Danghun Mountain was repaired, its output could not increase. His plan to take over Green Ghost Desert had already failed. If he had succeeded, Fang Yuan would not have any difficulty facing the joint blockade of Central Continent and Southern Border. Qing Chou's whereabouts were still unknown, while Fang Clan was also being targeted by Western Desert's super forces. It would not be easy for Fang Clan to raise their status. It was not that Fang Yuan had not thought of making use of Fang Clan, but he had some misgivings about this. Because his identity as Swan Bu Jin was already known by the Celestial Court. Looking at it now, it was the right decision to take in Green Ghost Desert back then. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned. Many things in life were contrary to one's wishes. As a result, Fang Yuan's income continued to shrink. What made him even more upset was that Central Continent's Celestial Court was increasing its efforts to plunder the Time Path immortal materials in Jewel Yellow Skies. Even so, As long as it was a time path immortal material, the celestial court would give the seller what they wanted. Thus, during this period, the price of time path immortal materials in jewel yellow skies was unprecedentedly high. This made things difficult for Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's income was already decreasing. He wanted to refine time path immortal GU to increase his strength in this aspect so that he could enter the river of time again, but the celestial court overbearingly pushed him away. The celestial court had been established since the remote antiquity era. After countless years of accumulation, how could Fang Yuan compare to it? Fang Yuan's progress in time path was minimal. In contrast, the celestial court was plundering large amounts of time path immortal materials. They might even be able to refine a fifth immortal GU house. In this situation, Fang Yuan's hope of finding Red Lotus true inheritance was getting slimmer and slimmer. I need a large amount of time path immortal materials to refine time path immortal GU. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable became venerable through Earth Path. There might not be many time path immortal materials in the Paradise Earth true inheritance in the Blue Dragon Whale. But even so, I have to go. In this uncertain future, nobody could say what they would obtain. Even if they did not obtain time path immortal materials, the things in the Paradise Earth true inheritance would definitely be good stuff. Southern Borders Rank 8 GU Immortal Lu Wei Yin is the current generation Paradise Earth's inheritor. If I can obtain this Paradise Earth true inheritance, I might have a way to deal with him. More importantly, according to my memories in the 500 years of my previous life, the Blue Dragon Whale seems to contain Rank 8 Immortal GU Regret. In my previous life, Miao Ming-shun explored it many times. Even though he did not obtain the Paradise Earth true inheritance, he made many gains each time. Because many GU Immortals participated in it and entered it many times, rumors of Immortal GU Regret spread. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable used Immortal GU Regret as the core to create a famous immortal killer move, Repent and Start Anew. He used this move to cause many demonic path GU Immortals to change sides. They realized their mistake and turned from evil to good. Repent and Start Anew was a killer move with great battle results. Immortal GU Regret was naturally a Wisdom Path Immortal GU. Wisdom Path had three elements. They were thought, will, and emotion. Immortal GU Regret belonged to emotion. Later on, GU Immortals created Emotion Path from Wisdom Path. Thus, Immortal GU Regret also belonged to Emotion Path. In the long history records, Immortal GU Regret appeared many times, sometimes rank 6, sometimes rank 7. It was in the hands of GU Immortals of the 5 regions. In Red Lotus Demon Venerable's hands, Immortal GU Regret seemed to have been refined to rank 8 for the first time. Later on, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable obtained rank 8 Immortal GU Regret from an unknown source. Fang Yuan had a deep understanding of Immortal GU Regret. Because he wanted to recreate Regret Pool. Speaking of which, other than the tributary of the River of Time, the core of the Immortal GU House Regret Pool was Immortal GU Regret. Unfortunately, back then, the Regret Pool left behind in Eastern Sea was only a half-finished product. It lacked Immortal GU Regret. If this Paradise Earth true inheritance really has rank 8 Immortal GU Regret, with this GU, I can replicate a portion of Regret Pool's effect. It will be very useful for my GU refinement in the future. This was the reason why Fang Yuan was most moved. In fact, Regret Pool was also part of Fang Yuan's plan. He extorted Southern Borders' righteous path and painstakingly built the incomplete Immortal GU house. It fulfilled his expectations in this aspect. Regrettably, the incomplete Immortal GU house was completely destroyed in the River of Time. Fang Yuan did not have time to retrieve any GU worms. Several days passed in the blink of an eye. Eastern Sea. Miao Ming-shun looked around. There were 8 GU Immortals standing around him. Among them, there was naturally Fang Yuan. Everyone. Miao Ming-shun said solemnly, regarding this operation, I have already explained it to everyone in detail. I have also given everyone a day to consider it. This is the first time I am doing this. The risks are hard to assess. There is a chance of death. If any of you choose to give up, please leave now. I, Miao Ming-shun, will not stop you. I truly understand. Sea winds blew, brushing past their ears. Miao Ming-shun looked around again. No one moved. Paradise Earth's true inheritance was too high grade. Even though there were few Earth Path GU Immortals in Eastern Sea, among the GU Immortals present, only one cultivated Earth Path. No one wanted to give up. Humans die for wealth, birds die for food. Furthermore, since ancient times, among GU Venerables, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable was the most benevolent. He had never harmed anyone. The immortal inheritances he set up were also known to be gentle. Such a fortuitous encounter, anyone who did not grab it would be a fool. Alright, since everyone wants to participate, let's form an alliance agreement first. Miao Ming-shen was excited. He was naturally fully prepared for this trip. Zheng Luozi, please help. Miao Ming-shen cupped his fists and invited. Zheng Luozi stepped forward. He wore a green and white robe, his face was thin, his cheekbones were high, his eye sockets were deep, his eyes were shining with bright light. He had rank 7 cultivation level, he cultivated information path. Miao Ming-shen had already communicated with him. He immediately said, "This is the alliance agreement we are about to form, please take a look at it." Zheng Luozi had just said that when many of the GU Immortals present shook, they showed a trace of shock. It turned out that the contents of the alliance agreement had appeared in their minds at the same time. Zheng Luozi did this to show off his strength. He wanted to confirm his position in the group. This exploration of Paradise Earth's true inheritance had just started, but the GU Immortals were already competing openly and secretly. To read the latest novel, please visit the website. Chapter 1664. Miao Ming-shen's expression did not change, but he was observing carefully. Zheng Luozi's move was part of his plan. It allowed him to gather more valuable information. Zheng Luozi's information path attainment was something that even Miao Ming-shen admired. Now that Zheng Luozi showed his move, Miao Ming-shen observed his expression and made many discoveries. There are 8 people in this trip. Other than me, Gui Qiyi, Fengjiang, and Immortal Hua Dai, there is also Zheng Luozi, Tu Tuor, Tong Hua, and Chu Ying. Other than Zheng Luozi and Miao Ming-shen, there was also Tong Hua and Tu Tuor. The rest of the people were more or less moved. Miao Ming-shen trusted Gui Qiyi, Fengjiang, and Immortal Hua Dai the most, but he did not tell them about this arrangement. They were acting as they were. Miao Ming-shen interacted with Zheng Luozi, Tu Tuor, and Tong Hua. He knew them very well. They were rare rank 7 GU Immortals in Eastern Sea. In Eastern Sea, there were the most lone Immortals. They were also a level higher than the other 4 regions, because Eastern Sea had the most resources. Miao Ming-shen was slightly worried about Chu Ying. This person was a hidden immortal. He had interacted with him once or twice. He left a deep impression on Miao Ming-shen. The truth was, Miao Ming-shen did not intend to invite Chu Ying. But because Chu Ying and Ren Xiaoping had conflicts long ago, he saved Fengjiang and Immortal Hua Dai, and most importantly, he seemed to have a lot of lifespan GU in his possession. With all these factors, Miao Ming-shen decided to invite Chu Ying to join this trip. He was the only one who knew the exact location of the blue dragon whale. This way, any invitation from him would be a favor. Miao Ming-shen wanted to cooperate more deeply with Fang Yuan. Ignoring everything else, just the lifespan GU in Fang Yuan's hands was enough to move Miao Ming-shen. Zheng Luozi's move made Chu Ying's expression change as well. As for Tu Tuor and Tong Hua, it was unknown if they were really immune to it or if they were pretending to be calm. Immortal Miao Ming saw the Immortal's expressions and laughed. "Immortal Zheng Luozi, you have a good plan." Tu Tuor snorted coldly while Tong Hua glanced coldly at Zheng Luozi. Fang Yuan looked at Zheng Luozi in shock, but he was laughing coldly in his heart. Zheng Luozi's gaze swept past Chu Ying. Before meeting Tu Tuor and Tong Hua's gazes, he laughed heartily and threw out an information path mortal GU. The information path mortal GU also recorded the details of the alliance agreement. After the Immortals inspected it, some nodded in acceptance, while others suggested to modify some of the contents. Of course, the content was not a big deal. Miao Ming-shen was the leader. He led the Immortals, and after the discussion, Zheng Luozi acted and formed an alliance. Once the alliance was formed, the Immortals looked at each other and smiled. The atmosphere immediately became much more relaxed. "There is no time to lose, let's set off now." Miao Ming Shen moved quickly with the immortals behind him. Miao Ming Shen flew in the air for a while before falling into the sea. It's not easy to hide in the air, and it's extremely easy to be discovered. If Ren Xiaoping received news of this operation, he would definitely not sit still and wait for death. Thus, entering the sea is to use the undercurrent. Fang Yuan guessed. A moment later, as he expected, Miao Ming Shen led the immortals to the bottom of the sea. They saw a huge undercurrent that was like a giant python. Miao Ming Shen gradually slowed down and stopped in front of the undercurrent. Miao Ming Shen looked at Zheng Luozi. Before entering the undercurrent, for safety's sake, to ensure that we are not separated, I hope Zheng Luozi can make a move. I know you have an immortal killer move that can mark all of us and allow us to sense each other's location. This was another method to control the situation. But Miao Ming Shen did not say it when they formed the alliance agreement. He said it when facing the undercurrent. It was natural and could not be refuted. Miao Ming Shen, do you really want to do this? Zheng Luozi pretended to hesitate. Miao Ming Shen laughed heartily. We have already formed an alliance agreement. We will work together sincerely in the future to explore Paradise Earth's true inheritance. Can we not trust each other? His words were deep. Tong Hua, Tu Tu Tuor, and the rest's gazes flashed as they nodded in agreement. Zheng Luozi looked around. Then don't be nervous, don't defend, my move has no offensive power. Fang Yuan rolled his eyes secretly as he said, please do it. Let me do it first. Feng Jiang stood up first. Zheng Luozi used his immortal killer move on Feng Jiang first, while the rest took turns. After a while, the immortals were all hit by the information path killer move. They could sense each other's location. That's good. Please follow me. The undercurrent is very fast. If we are slightly slower, we will be very far away. Miao Ming Shen said before diving into the undercurrent. Fang Yuan and the rest followed closely behind. The undercurrents at the bottom of the Eastern Sea had different directions and lengths. They came and went, and they were the mighty forces of nature. Moving along the undercurrent, the immortal's speed was faster than some ordinary immortal killer moves. Most importantly, they only needed to defend themselves. It was very easy. If a water path GU immortal had methods, they could use the undercurrent to move faster, or even defend themselves against enemies. Fang Yuan was at the back of the group. He found that this group's arrangement was very particular. For example, Immortal Hua Dai was beside him. She transmitted to him from time to time. Fang Yuan answered her while secretly inspecting the information path Dao marks on his body. After observing for a while, Fang Yuan relaxed. It was not hard to get rid of these information path Dao marks. Fang Yuan had many ways to do so. At the same time, he had the immortal killer move self-cleansing that countered the restrictions of information path. But now was not a good time. Everyone, we are about to leave, follow me. Ahead, Miao Ming Shen transmitted. After a few breaths, he got out of the undercurrent. The rest followed closely behind. After leaving the undercurrent, Fang Yuan found that he was in an ordinary nameless sea area. In the following journey, the immortals used several undercurrents to travel. If there were no undercurrents, they would hide in the sea and move forward quietly, keeping a low profile. Even if they encountered desolate beasts or ancient desolate beasts, they would avoid them. If they encountered any natural resources, they would not take them. They traveled like this for several days. As they conversed, the group's atmosphere became more harmonious. Miao Ming Shen had great interpersonal skills. He firmly secured his position as the leader. While they were chatting, he suddenly paused, saying, "We are getting close." The immortals were energized. Fang Yuan was puzzled. He had already used several investigative killer moves but did not find anything. He could not see what method Miao Ming Shen used to be so sure. The blue dragon whale's existence was known to everyone. But its exact location had always been mysterious. Miao Ming Shen definitely had a unique method to obtain it. Fang Yuan had rank 8 cultivation level. He had great battle strength. It was possible for him to kill Miao Ming Shen and plunder his soul. But there were risks. GU Immortals' methods were mysterious and unfathomable. If they encountered a strange one, they might fail miserably. Thus, Fang Yuan did not make a move. He remained hidden. It would not be too late to strike when they reached the blue dragon whale. As they got closer, The immortals started to notice something strange. The seawater ahead became more turbulent. It was like a gentle breeze earlier, but now, it became a violent storm. The resistance of moving forward increased. Desolate beasts and ancient desolate beasts increased in numbers. They could not control themselves in the violent currents. Fang Yuan and the rest had to move forward while resisting. They killed a large number of desolate beasts, carving out a path of blood. At this time, everyone's strength started to show. Feng Jiang and Immortal Hua Dai had the weakest battle strength. They were soon protected. Miao Mingshun was still moving forward. He was the vanguard, enduring the greatest pressure. Behind him were Tong Hua and Zheng Luozi. Tu Tu Tuor was an earth path cultivator. In this environment, his battle strength was greatly suppressed. Next was Fang Yuan. He had turned into a miniature seahorse. He was only the size of a palm. He moved at lightning speed. The strength he displayed was only above average in the group. It was not strong at all. They moved forward with difficulty. The path ahead was getting worse. When immemorial desolate beast figures appeared among the countless fish figures, the immortals knew that they could not continue like this. The strongest Miao Mingshun only had rank 7 cultivation level. Following Miao Mingshun, they flew out of the seawater and into the sky. Rumble. In the sky, tornadoes raged, lightning flashed like a forest, thunder rumbled, dark clouds gathered like a city. There were huge waves on the surface of the sea. They were hundreds of meters tall. The situation was dangerous. It was not inferior to the bottom of the sea. Large numbers of birds and eagles flew around amidst the thunder and lightning, fighting and killing each other. In the dark clouds, the blue charm lightning shadow flickered. It was being chased by the immemorial desolate beast Thunder Phoenix. Seeing that the tail of the Thunder Phoenix flashed in the dark clouds, Miao Mingshun and the rest sucked in a breath of cold air. Quick, follow me. Miao Mingshun transmitted. His hair stood on end as he flew forward. GU immortals had their own methods to hide, but in this situation, it was very chaotic. No method was safe. The wisest choice was to leave as soon as possible. The Thunder Phoenix screeched. It discovered Fang Yuan and the rest as it flew down. The seawater exploded. An immemorial octopus that was as large as a mountain moved its countless tentacles. It also targeted Miao Mingshun and the rest as prey. Damn it, damn it. Miao Mingshun's expression was distorted. He gritted his teeth so hard that they almost shattered. Before even seeing the blue dragon whale, they were already in a desperate situation. The aura of death was assaulting them. Split up and escape. After hesitating for a moment, Miao Mingshun shouted. The GU immortals quickly split up and escaped. Crack. The Thunder Phoenix was extremely fast. It arrived in front of Fang Yuan in the blink of an eye. Chu Ying. Immortal Hua Dai was brought along by Gui Qi. Seeing this, she cried out in shock. Save me. Fang Yuan shouted with a look of despair. At the next moment, he was struck by the Thunder Phoenix. His entire body was burnt to a crisp. He died on the spot. Chu Ying. Seeing this, the remaining 7 immortals' hearts jumped. They fled in panic. For the fastest novel reading, please visit Chapter 1665. Boom. A lightning ball the size of a millstone exploded on Miao Mingshun's back. Goo. Miao Mingshun's body shook as he spat out a mouthful of blood. His pale face turned even more sickly. He quickly focused and activated an immortal killer move. At the next moment, he vanished on the spot and appeared thousands of steps away. But even here, there was thunder and lightning, fierce beasts were flying. The situation was already at its worst. To think that I, Miao Mingshun, am going to die here. Miao Mingshun had a look of despair. Wasn't Paradise Earth's true inheritance supposed to be gentle? Why was it so dangerous? These questions were no longer important. Miao Mingshun's immortal aperture's immortal essence was already dried up. Even though most of his immortal GU were still around, he was already at the end of his rope. That attack earlier was his final struggle. The beast's roar almost pierced his eardrums. The immemorial Thunder Phoenix pounced at him again. Looking around, only Miao Mingshun was left of the 8 GU immortals. He was the one who lasted the longest. The others had all died. If I had known this, I would not have come to Paradise Earth's true inheritance. I have not even seen the blue dragon whale and I am about to die. He, Ren Xiaoping will laugh his head off if he finds out. Miao Mingshen felt regret, but he was also helpless. In one's life, the road ahead was dark. Who could predict it all? Even the wisdom path immortal venerable star constellation couldn't deduce everything. Come. Miao Mingshen sighed as he puffed out his chest, facing the thunder phoenix's claws calmly. There was a sharp pain, followed by the deepest darkness. Am I already dead? Miao Mingshen was dazed. At this time, a voice could be heard. Lord Miao Mingshen, wake up, quickly wake up. Miao Mingshen opened his eyes. Next, he saw Immortal Hua Dai's concerned expression. Standing in front of him were Gui Qiyi, Feng Jiang, Tu Tu Tuor, and the rest. Even Chu Ying, who died first, was here. They were all smiling. You guys, what is going on? Miao Mingshen's eyes suddenly shined. Wait, is this a test? Celestial friend Miao is wise. The result of our discussion is the same. Tu Tu Tuor laughed and replied. I didn't expect the first trial to arrive before I even see the blue dragon whale. However, this trial is a little too dangerous. Miao Mingshen shook his head as fear lingered in his heart. As he spoke, he inspected his injuries. In the next moment, he was completely stunned. He found that the injuries on his body had all disappeared, the damage to his GU worms had also completely disappeared, even his dried-up immortal essence reserves were restored to their original state. This. Miao Mingshen looked up. Was everything just an illusion? That's right. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's method was truly amazing. We did not sense anything even though we were in the situation, only when we died did we realize it. Thinking about it, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable was able to create reincarnation battlefield. It was not difficult for him to design this test. In the historical records, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable created this type of immortal killer move to subdue the rank 8 expert battle demon of that time. Reincarnation Battlefield was the pinnacle of this move. After so many years, Reincarnation Battlefield had nurtured countless GU immortal experts for the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent. Miao Mingshen breathed heavily as his mind became clearer. I think this was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's advice. After all, once one experiences death, they can accept everything. Lord is right. The moment of death is truly unforgettable. Feng Jiang sighed. At the same time, this can also test a person's battle strength. Miao Mingshen, I can't help but admire you. We all saw your performance in the illusion realm. You are the one who lasted the longest among us. Tong Hua smiled. Miao Mingshen was both happy and worried. He was happy that his performance this time had greatly increased his prestige in the team, but he was worried that most of his own methods had been completely exposed. After all, at the moment of life and death, who could hold back? Miao Mingshen suddenly thought of Fang Yuan. His gaze turned. Chu Ying, to think that I was so sad and angry, to think that you are the one who saved the most effort among us. His words had a deeper meaning. Fang Yuan heaved a long sigh, showing a bitter smile in shame. To speak the truth, at the moment of death, I felt extremely uncomfortable. I cursed in my heart. Why was I so unlucky to be targeted by the immemorial Thunder Phoenix? But when I woke up, I was dazed for a long time before I could recover. With attitude Immortal GU, his performance was very sincere. Miao Mingshen stared at Fang Yuan deeply. Seeing his sincere expression, the suspicions that had just risen in his mind dissipated. Then where is this place? Miao Mingshen looked around and saw that they were on an uninhabited island. The island was surrounded by a vast expanse of blue seawater. It was boundless. Groups of fish could be seen in the seawater, waves were splashing on the surface of the sea breeze was gentle, white seabirds were chirping, some were flying in the sky while others were close to the sea surface. We were about to ask you. When we woke up, we were already here. I wonder where we should go now. Tong Hua said. Miao Mingshen nodded. Everyone, please wait a moment. Saying so, he closed his eyes and activated a mysterious immortal killer move. This was his unique method to locate the blue dragon whale, but it was hard to comprehend the true meaning of this method from the surface. Miao Mingshen closed his eyes before opening them again. His eyes were filled with shock and joy. Everyone, if I am not wrong, this should be the blue dragon whale's immortal aperture world. Miao Ming-shen said something shocking. What? The immortals were shocked. They more or less knew about the situation of Paradise Earth's true inheritance. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had subdued the blue dragon whale and opened a grotto heaven for it. In this grotto heaven, he left behind a Paradise Earth true inheritance. For countless years, many GU immortals tried to find the blue dragon whale, but they could not find anything. This time, the GU immortals wanted to see the blue dragon whale's glory, but to think that they would stumble into its grotto heaven. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangements are truly not something we can understand. This means that there is no difficulty in entering this place. Then why didn't anyone come here before us? Is it because the blue dragon whale is too hard to find? Then, what should we do next? Tong Hua asked. The immortals' gazes gathered on Miao Ming-shen again. Miao Ming-shen was very satisfied with this situation. The GU immortals arrived at their destination but did not split up. They still wanted to stay by his side. His efforts to stabilize his position were not in vain. To speak the truth, I am not sure. However, since we've entered this grotto heaven world, we've almost succeeded in half of it. Next, we need to find the Paradise Earth true inheritance that is hidden here. This is an unfamiliar place after all. Who knows what has been living here for countless years? To be safe, let's travel together. Even if something unexpected happens, we can take care of each other. Miao Ming-shen's words made the immortals nod in agreement. Fang Yuan spoke at this time. I have a humble opinion. Since we are here because of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangements, this island is not simple either. Since that's the case, it's clear that the island we're on isn't simple. We might as well search this island thoroughly first. You are not going to explore it first? Miao Ming-shen asked. The immortals shook their heads. Some looked at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly. Even though I was the first to enter, after realizing that the outside world was an illusion, I was afraid of the dangers here. Thus, I have been waiting here. All right, then let's split up and search this island. Miao Ming-shen started to assign missions. This island was not big. Fang Yuan had many people on his side. Soon, someone found some clues and called out, "Come to the center of the island, there is a rank 8 immortal GU house here." A moment later, 8 GU immortals stood in front of the immortal GU house. This immortal GU house had a peculiar appearance. From the outside, it looked like a stele made of gold. Many words appeared on the surface of the stele. Feng Jiang took a few glances at the content before shouting in shock, "So this is Paradise Earth's true inheritance." Immortal Hua Dai, who was beside him, frowned, "But it will be much more troublesome to inherit this true inheritance." According to the stele's records, this immortal GU house was a rank 8 merit board. It looked after the grotto heaven of the immortal aperture. For external GU immortals to obtain Paradise Earth's true inheritance, they had to accept the missions on the stele and obtain merit points after completing them. The more merit points they had, the more valuable the items they could exchange for. If they did not accept this, the GU immortals could only stay on this island. They could not leave and go to other places in the grotto heaven. According to the inscription, we can only stay here for 300 days. Tong Hua said in a regretful tone. 300 days was calculated according to the Dragon Whale Grotto Heaven's time flow. What kind of missions can we complete in 300 days? Zheng Luozi's eyes shined with bright light. There were only 10 missions on the stele, each one was different. This meant that there would be more competition between GU immortals. The others were not stupid, they soon realized this problem. The atmosphere became heavy. Miao Ming-shen acutely sensed the change in the atmosphere. He said, "Everyone, even though the stele says it clearly, this is the first time we are here, we cannot rule out other possibilities. In my opinion, we should test it and see if we can leave this island. At the same time, I would like to ask everyone to research this immortal GU house. If we can find a way to break it and take it for ourselves, that would be a great thing." The immortals were moved. This was a rank 8 immortal GU house. If they could break it and split it among themselves, the gains would be immense. Miao Ming-shen continued, "When we searched, we found that this island has a lot of cultivation resources. There is a huge amount of them. Let's not talk about other things first. Let's split these resources first. What do you think?" The immortals had benefits to gain, why would they be unwilling? They all agreed. For the fastest novel reading, please visit Chapter 1666. Even though the island was small, there were a lot of cultivation resources inside. This density and amount of resources were clearly planted by humans. The 8 GU immortals, including Fang Yuan, looted the resources and distributed them. Fang Yuan was acting as Chu Ying, a transformation path GU immortal. He obtained a lot of transformation path immortal materials. But because transformation path reflected countless paths, there were many types of immortal materials. For example, the soul core of a soul beast was a soul path immortal material, but if a transformation path GU immortal transformed into a soul beast, the soul core could also be considered a transformation path cultivation resource. Fang Yuan used transformation path as a cover to collect a lot of time path immortal materials. Zheng Luozi said casually, Chu Ying, do you have a time path transformation path? Why didn't you use it in the outside world? Fang Yuan smiled, I was just taking advantage of the situation. I'm sure you all know about that demon Fang Yuan. These time path immortal materials can be exchanged for many good things in jewel yellow skies. After all, if I compete with you all, it would hurt our relationship. Ha ha ha. Chu Ying, why didn't I think of that? Tu Tuor laughed loudly. Zheng Luozi's eyes shined with bright light. He did not speak anymore. After the shock of the outside world's illusion realm, the GU immortals' moods became better. After all, their gains were quite good. Especially when Miao Ming Shun did not side with them, he distributed the resources evenly. The atmosphere in the group was quite harmonious. Half a day later, the immortals gathered in front of the rank 8 immortal GU house merit obelisk again. According to the records on the merit obelisk, these resources were arranged by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable in the past. It was to ensure that GU immortals who did not want to accept the mission did not come in vain. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable is truly kind. Tong Hua sighed. Gui Chi pondered and said, now that all of us have made our moves, we have tested the island one by one. It is true that we cannot force our way out. And this merit obelisk is not something we can decipher. Feng Jiang added. The immortals were silent. How could Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangements be so easy to decipher? Especially these GU immortals, other than Fang Yuan, they only had rank 7 cultivation level. Even though some of them were elite rank 7s, against an Immortal Venerable's methods, they were too weak. I wonder if fellow Immortal Miaoming has any insights? Tong Hua asked. Miao Mingshun shook his head, I know nothing about Paradise Earth True Inheritance, I am no different from all of you. In my opinion, since we cannot forcefully break Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangements, we only have 2 choices. The first was to not accept the mission from the Steely and stay on this island for 300 days. Once the time limit was up, he should be teleported out. The second is to follow the instructions on the tablet. The immortals looked at each other. Without a doubt, the resources on the island had already been divided up. Who would want to foolishly stay here for 300 days? Because of this, the immortals tasted the sweetness and became even more interested in Paradise Earth's true inheritance. In their opinion, the cultivation resources on the island were just appetizers before the main course. Thus, the value of Paradise Earth's true inheritance could be seen even more clearly. But to accept the mission, we need to be acknowledged by the merit obelisk. This process is similar to the Life Tablet GU and Soul Lantern GU of the superclans, but it is much more restrictive. If this is a trap, in this world, there are always benefits and risks. We came here to explore Paradise Earth's true inheritance, didn't we come here to take risks? I have decided to accept the mission. Since this was arranged by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable, there should be no problem. The true inheritance is right in front of us. If we stop here, we will regret it in the future. After a round of discussion, none of the 8 GU immortals retreated. Thus, according to the instructions on the tablet, the 8 immortals walked forward and placed their palms on the merit obelisk. With a flash of light, the names of the 8 immortals appeared on the new obelisk. A ranking list was formed in the original blank space. Fang Yuan's name was inside, but it was Chu Ying. This made Fang Yuan let out a sigh of relief. He had inspected this merit obelisk and found that it mainly used earth path and sound path. He could not decipher it. Of course, if he tried to forcefully destroy it, with Fang Yuan's battle strength, it was possible. But the risk was too high. He might as well continue to disguise himself and explore with these people. The GU Immortal world had countless methods. This merit obelisk was a rank 8 immortal GU house. It was the creation of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. There was a high chance that the GU Immortal's true name was exposed. Thankfully, there was no such power. Otherwise, if Fang Yuan's identity was exposed, he might kill everyone around him. After all, his identity was too sensitive. It was hard to say if these people had any strange methods. Even if there was no threat, it would not be good to draw the attention of the Celestial Court. Without understanding the situation, I should not attack these people. After all, this is Paradise Earth's true inheritance. He emphasizes on forgiving people when possible. He is benevolent and tolerant. If I kill them easily, something bad might happen. The 8 immortals were already listed on the merit obelisk. They started to research these missions. There were only 10 missions recorded on the obelisk. Each mission was simple and to the point. They needed the GU Immortal to analyze them. For example, the first mission, eliminate the water monsters around Sea Eagle City. Water monsters were similar to soul beasts. They were both Dao beasts with all sorts of shapes and forms. After death, most of their bodies would dissipate, only leaving behind water cores and soul cores. These were immortal materials that contained abundant water path and soul path Dao marks. What level of water monsters, desolate beasts or ancient desolate beasts, there were no details. Sea Eagle City? Sea Eagle City? Where was it? There were no instructions. Exterminating the water monster was still manageable, but the other missions were a little strange. For example, constructing a well for Roundfish Island, gathering herbs for 3 Mark tribe, managing the spirit spring, protecting the caravan, repairing the formation, and so on. The 8 immortals looked at the merit obelisk. After thinking for a long time, Zheng Luozi sighed. My information path methods are useless against this rank 8 immortal GU house. It seems that the missions we choose will depend on luck. I will go first. I will choose the first mission, eliminate the water monsters. The others were silent. Although Zheng Luozi said that, there were differences between missions. According to common sense, the harder the mission, the greater the merit points. Water monsters were at least desolate beasts. Eliminating them was a mission with high difficulty. The corresponding merit points should be quite high. As for managing the spirit spring, protecting the caravan, and other missions, they were at the mortal level. They were not as difficult as eliminating the water monsters. Zheng Luozi's choice was undoubtedly snatching a piece of juicy meat. The atmosphere in the group changed. Zheng Luozi was silent. He was actually a little nervous. At this time, Miao Mingshen nodded in agreement. He said, "You guys can choose first, I will go last." Once he said that, the GU Immortal's gazes towards Miao Mingshen changed again. Miao Mingshen waved his hand, saying, "No need to overestimate me. I just feel that since Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable made such arrangements, how could he not think of fairness? These seemingly simple missions might not be so simple." Towards Miao Mingshen's deduction, some immortals nodded. Tonghua spoke, "Then I will choose the second mission." Tu Tu Tuor also made his choice. Their choices were the same as Zheng Luozi. It was clearly a difficult mission. After Tu Tu Tuor made his choice, there was still one mission left. It seemed quite difficult. The rest of the missions were all mediocre and ordinary. Among the remaining people, there were 3 rank 7s, Miao Mingshen, Fang Yuan, and Gui Qiyi. Next. Chu Ying, please make your choice. Miao Mingshen took a look and said with a smile. Feng Jiang and Immortal Hua Dai stood beside him. They did not say a word. Wait. Gui Qiyi said at this time, "Everyone, Lord Miao Mingshen, to speak the truth, I wanted this mission the moment I saw it." The immortals had different expressions. Miao Mingshen turned to look at Gui Qiyi with a shocked and judgmental gaze. But Gui Qiyi did not see it. He looked at Fang Yuan with an eerie gaze. Is this the case of picking the weakest persimmon? Fang Yuan chuckled internally. He said, "Since Gui Qiyi has such affinity with this mission, it means that this mission is fated with you. I will not snatch it from you." Let's choose the 7th mission. Everyone looked at him. The 7th mission was to collect the black oil from earth trenched deep in the sea. This had always been done by mortal GU masters. Miao Mingshan quickly said, "Chu Ying, brother Miao, no need to be modest. It is truly enviable that you have such a companion. This is what you deserve. If not for you, how could I have come here?" Fang Yuan laughed heartily. Gui Qiyi's gaze towards Fang Yuan softened. Indeed, he insisted on the final mission for Miao Mingshan, not for himself. But like Fang Yuan said, the reason why the immortals could come here was because of Miao Mingshan. He deserved this credit indeed. Miao Mingshan rejected it, but Fang Yuan insisted. Miao Mingshan was helpless, he could only accept it. A moment later, everyone chose a mission. The merit obelisk shot out pillars of light into the sky. The GU immortals entered the pillars of light and were transported out, vanishing on the spot. Fang Yuan felt his vision change. In the blink of an eye, he was on an unfamiliar island. I am a rank 8 GU immortal, but that merit obelisk teleported me here effortlessly. It seems to be the core of this immortal aperture grotto heaven. It is very profound, as expected of Paradise Earth's creation. Regarding these missions, he and Miao Mingshan had similar deductions. Of course, rejecting that mission was not Fang Yuan being modest, it was actually a test for Miao Mingshan. After Fang Yuan and the rest left, only Miao Mingshan and Gui Qiyi were left. "Gui Qiyi, you." Miao Mingshan sighed. Gui Qiyi bowed. "Please forgive me, Lord. What crime did you commit? It's just that you've underestimated Chu Ying. He was the first person to die in the illusion realm. You think that he is not strong enough." Miao Mingshan shook his head. "Lord, do you think that Chu Ying is hiding his strength?" Miao Mingshan shook his head. "I did not see anything. It is unlikely that he is hiding his strength. It's just that in this unfamiliar environment, we must first unite and try our best to avoid internal strife." Chapter 1667. According to Fang Yuan's investigative methods, this island had almost no secrets to him. He found that this island that the merit obelisk teleported to was very ordinary and ordinary. The island did not have many resources. There was a fishing village with some people living there. With a fishing village, there was naturally a spirit spring. There were GU masters of course, but with such a poor environment and population, it would be a miracle if there was a rank 4 GU master. Fang Yuan accepted the mission to collect black oil from earth trench at the bottom of the sea. As expected, in his investigation, he soon found traces of black oil seeping out from the edges of the island. If it were other GU immortals, they might have already gone into the sea to collect earth trench black oil. But Fang Yuan did not intend to do that. The moment he saw the merit obelisk, he started to deduce Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's intentions. He stealthily entered the fishing village. This fishing village did not have many people. There were only 5 or 6 GU masters. The highest cultivation level was a rank 3 GU master. It could not compare to Qing Maro Mountain's Gua village. In the past, around the GUU village, there were close to 10 such villages attached to it. Fang Yuan went to find the only rank 3 GU master in the village. This was an old man with white hair and a face full of wrinkles. His identity as the village head was exposed from other people's words. Fang Yuan was very satisfied. He had a high status and was old. He definitely knew a lot of things. Soul search. Fang Yuan used his immortal methods. The old village head's secrets were all exposed. In an instant, Fang Yuan obtained a large amount of detailed information. Like he expected, this village was very ordinary. And there were many other villages and islands like this in the surroundings. This fishing village does not seem to have anything fishy about it. Fang Yuan understood. He left the village quietly. The old village head only felt dazed for a moment. After a moment of surprise, he went back to doing his own things. Fang Yuan's soul search method was far superior to mortal GU masters. Fang Yuan secretly left this island and flew to the surrounding islands. However, the scene on the island on the merit stele replayed itself on Fang Yuan. Even though he could already see the tip of a small island on the surface of the sea, no matter how he flew, the distance between the two of them could not be shortened. After trying everything, Fang Yuan's efforts were in vain. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable cultivated Sound Path in his early years. Later on, he focused on Earth Path. This method that is so close yet worlds apart is his specialty. In human history, there were many battles where Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable stood on the spot and allowed his enemies to attack him. But the enemy's punches, kicks, and killing moves could not reach him, even if the distance seemed short. Other than that, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable has another method that people yearn for, that is to create a paradise. Paradise. This was also the origin of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's title. Nobody knew how to create paradise lands, but Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had left behind a large number of paradise lands for the 5 regions and 2 heavens. Paradise had one of the most obvious characteristics, and that was that there were no disasters or tribulations. This Dragon Whale Grotto heaven has clearly been enlightened by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. It has become a paradise. From the old village head's soul, Fang Yuan had obtained information that proved this to a large extent. If there were any disasters or tribulations, even if the old village head could not sense them, the village's historical records should have recorded them. But there was no such information. Since Fang Yuan could not enter the other small islands, he changed his direction and dove into the water. As he dove deeper, the pressure of the water became greater. This water pressure was a problem that all oil-collecting GU masters had to face, but for the rank 8 GU Immortal Fang Yuan, it was negligible. To GU masters, the water might be deep, but to GU Immortals, it was shallow because they were close to the small islands. Fang Yuan soon discovered that a large area of dark twilight fog appeared in his vision. It was like a giant kelp, extending from east to west. This earth trench at the bottom of the sea was very majestic. The ordinary island was almost at the edge of the earth trench. According to the information obtained from the old village chief, there were also trenches extending near the surrounding islands. Earth trenches produced black oil. Be they ordinary earth trenches or underwater earth trenches. Black oil was a type of immortal material that belonged to food path. It was of high grade and had a high production rate. It was easy to extract. This was a characteristic of food path. It had high production rate, was cheap, and was close to the people. Black oil was extremely helpful to immortal zombies. If black oil was sprinkled on the dead aperture, it could slow down the destruction of the blessed land. In the outside world, it was an extremely useful GU refinement material for other GU immortals. It had a huge market. One of Zombie Alliance's main businesses was black oil. This status was similar to the Guts GU business to Fang Yuan. But the scale of the black oil trade was much larger than the Guts GU trade. There is about 3 million kilograms of black oil here. If I use my full strength, I can plunder it all in half a day. But I cannot go too far away from this island. Even though the black oil can flow, it is much slower than water. After I plunder this place, I will wait for the black oil from the other parts of the earth trenches to flow here before I extract the black oil. The efficiency is too low. Black oil was very easy to harvest, of course, that was only for GU immortals. For mortal GU masters, it was quite difficult. There was a special category, oil-gathering GU masters. They specialized in entering earth trenches to collect black oil. These people's livelihood skills were usually passed down in their families. Oil-gathering GU masters had their own set of GU worms that worked together to collect a small amount of black oil. Even though they did not have high battle strength, because they collected immortal materials, they were rich and had high status. They were very popular. In the 500 years of Fang Yuan's previous life, he had been an oil-gathering GU master in Eastern Sea for a period of time. That was a fortuitous encounter. He almost became the son-in-law of an old oil-gathering GU master. The methods of oil gathering were also selectively taught to Fang Yuan by this old GU master. The GU masters on the small island mainly relied on collecting black oil to cultivate and survive. The old village head that Fang Yuan's soul searched was the strongest oil-gathering GU master in the village. Even though he was old, he would still go into the water every year to collect. Seeing the black oil here, Fang Yuan's previous life's memories involuntarily surfaced in his mind. In the past, he had been an oil-gathering GU master, going deep into the sea to collect black oil. It was like treading on thin ice. He was extremely cautious. First, he had to solve the problem of suction. Secondly, he could not go too deep into the sea. The pressure of the sea would cause him to explode. But the sea was not calm. There were large numbers of fierce beasts. Finally, collecting black oil also required unique methods. How could mortals not have unique methods to collect immortal materials? Especially if the black oil was not collected properly, it would contaminate the GU master's body, causing the GU master to be covered in black oil stains that would not fade away. After a long time, there would be a foul stench. It would even corrode the GU master's body. In the 500 years of his previous life, Fang Yuan had been contaminated by the black oil. The old GU master who taught him the method had purposely withheld it. His intention was to force him to become his son-in-law. Back then, he was furious. He felt he had been schemed against, but now that Fang Yuan thought about it, he smiled bitterly. The old GU master had no children, he had no successor, he could only use this method. He had no choice but to teach this method to an outsider GU master like Fang Yuan. He had no choice. What was wrong with hiding the method and keeping it a secret? It was human nature. Back then, Fang Yuan felt like he was in a desperate situation. He had no way out. Without special methods, he could not get rid of the black oil's contamination. Even if Fang Yuan knew this method, he would need a series of GU worms. These two formed a huge chasm, forcing him to lower his head. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan had a trace of his previous state of mind. Back then, he was extremely anxious and pained, but he also yearned for the profits of the black oil. He swore in his heart that if he had the ability, he would change the situation. For example, some water path GU worms could allow him to swim freely and be extremely agile. Or he could design some GU worms that could resist the pressure of the sea. Right now, he had enough ability. He had a lot of immortal GU, he could easily refine large numbers of excellent mortal GU. But right now, he did not need these GU worms. Life was full of helplessness. Facing the present, some things that you desperately needed were not available. But when you had them, you no longer needed them. Thus, giving you a pillow when you are sleepy was also a kind of fortuitous encounter. You had to cherish it. Back then, when I was collecting the black oil, I almost died. But fortune and misfortune go hand in hand. I actually met Mo-er at the brink of death. From this perspective, the old GU master had done a good deed. Fang Yuan's lips curled into a deep and complex smile. Once again, a beautiful white figure rose from the bottom of his heart. Her appearance was blurry, but also clear. Her surname was Xie, name Han Mo Xie Han Mo. Fang Yuan had never forgotten this name, because this was the love of his life in his previous life. For the fastest and error-free novel reading, please visit Chapter 1668. Several days later. The tides rose and fell, crashing onto the rocks and creating countless waves. To put it bluntly, the nameless island could be said to be a barren land. Firstly, the island was not big, and secondly, there was the earth trench black oil. Because the earth trench produced black oil, the cultivation resources of other paths were suppressed. They were in dire straits. Humans had endless desires. The human way took away their deficiencies and made up for their surpluses. The strong preyed on the weak. The way of heaven, on the other hand, took away surpluses and made up for deficiencies. It was the balance of all beings. Because of the existence of an immortal material like black oil, the nameless island's other resources were in dire straits. For hundreds of years, the fishing village had been like this. It developed slowly. It could only nurture a single-digit number of GU masters. At this moment, in the village head's residence at the center of the fishing village, Fang Yuan was fighting with a middle-aged rank 2 GU master. Bam bam bam! After a few explosions, water splashed everywhere. The middle-aged rank 2 GU master was drenched. He fell to the ground weakly. Fang Yuan used Chu Ying's appearance. He stood on the spot with his hands behind his back and a smile on his face. From the start to the end, Fang Yuan stood on the spot. He did not move a single step. The middle-aged rank 2 GU master stood up with difficulty. He cupped his fists. Master Chu has extraordinary methods. I am in awe, thank you for your guidance. He was truly in awe. A few days ago, Fang Yuan disguised himself as a rank 4 GU master. He entered the fishing village openly and started to interact with the GU masters here. Back then, his appearance caused a huge commotion. There were few outsiders in the fishing village, especially when they were alone. Fang Yuan used the identity of a traveling GU master to enter this fishing village. Undeniably, his arrival disrupted the peaceful life of the fishing village. Even mortals who had no GU master cultivation knew that a strong GU master had come to their village. Traveling GU masters. These GU masters roamed around without a fixed residence. They were often alone, but there were also groups of 2 or 3. Traveling GU masters were usually strong and had few weaknesses. This was obvious. The outside world's environment was not safe. GU masters could travel around, they naturally had to have great abilities. This ability did not only refer to combat strength, but also included living, eating, traveling, feeding GU worms, and so on. Without great strength, one could not become a roaming GU master. Thus, once Fang Yuan appeared, the few GU masters in the fishing village were on high alert. Fang Yuan's rank 4 GU master aura made them extremely wary. The first time they met, Fang Yuan said his GU worms needed to be fed, and directly asked for GU materials from the old village head. The old village head was the only rank 3 GU master in the fishing village, the one who had his soul searched by Fang Yuan. He didn't dare to refuse Fang Yuan's request and could only agree. After the sparring ended, the middle-aged rank 2 GU master went to find the old village head. Closing the house, they released their GU worms as a precaution and the two started to talk in secret. The middle-aged GU master did not speak, showing a bitter and worried expression. The old village chief laughed. Now do you know how powerful Master Chu is? The middle-aged GU master nodded. Master Chu's strength is unfathomable. Even if we work together, we are not his match. Saying so, he looked at the village head with unwillingness. But are we just going to let him ask for GU materials like this? If his GU worms are hungry, that is his problem. Why do we have to bear the burden? Most importantly, our village's treasury has been accumulated for several generations. In just a few days, he has almost emptied it all. The old village head was silent for a while before saying with deep meaning, traveling GU masters have this custom. They go to a place and exchange for GU materials to feed their GU worms. These GU masters are usually very strong. The local forces will not reject them. They will cooperate and form a good relationship with them. This time, let's treat it as a good relationship. The middle-aged GU master frowned. His tone was filled with anger. Lord Village Head, you said it yourself, it is an exchange. But this Master Chu is asking for it directly. He did not take out anything to exchange for it. Then what do we do? What else can we do? The old village head looked at the middle-aged GU master. The middle-aged GU master was stunned. After a few deep breaths, his anger vanished, his straight back collapsed, his expression was filled with bitterness, pain, and helplessness. It is about time. At the other side, Fang Yuan smiled. The middle-aged GU master and the old village head's conversation was under Fang Yuan's observation. In fact, he knew everything that was happening in the entire fishing village. A few days ago, he went into the deep sea to collect earth-trench black oil. But later, he had a flash of inspiration. He changed his mind. Fang Yuan realized, collecting the black oil is nothing. The main point is Paradise Earth's true inheritance. I might as well probe it. Thus, Fang Yuan changed his method. He used his identity as a traveling GU master to approach the fishing village directly. The next day, the old village head looked at Fang Yuan, who came to him. He felt very bitter internally, but he forced a smile on the surface as he bowed. Master Chu, do you lack any GU materials? Fang Yuan smiled. Sir, thank you for your hospitality. I will be leaving now. The old village head was stunned. He felt immense joy in his heart, but he controlled it. He had a shocked and bitter expression as he urged, Master Chu, why are you in such a hurry to leave? Why don't you stay for a few more days? We can be a good host. Fang Yuan shook his head, purposely making fun of him. Sir, I have troubled you too much these few days. If I stay any longer, they will not come to spar with me. they will come to fight me to the death. The old village head was shocked. He smiled bitterly. Master, so you knew about it. Fang Yuan said in a deep voice, I have been in the outside world for so many years, how can I not know what you are thinking? But I am not a person who bullies the weak. So before I leave, I will leave some things for you. The old village head was overjoyed, but was also a little skeptical. He waved his hands. Master, there is no need, you are too polite. Call all the GU masters here. Fang Yuan kept his smile, saying plainly. A moment later, almost all the GU masters in the old village head's house had arrived, only the middle-aged GU master who sparred yesterday was missing. Unfortunately, he went to the bottom of the sea to collect the black oil. I am afraid we will miss him today. The old village head asked for leave. Fang Yuan looked at him deeply, smiling. Old village head is worrying too much. Everyone, please take a look at this GU worm. Fang Yuan stretched out his hands, slowly opening them, revealing a rank 2 mortal GU. This GU worm was white and blue in color. It was shaped like a shell and was as big as a jade bracelet. Fang Yuan continued, this is water shell GU, it can form a layer of water shell on the GU master's body, greatly resisting the pressure of the sea. Just using this GU worm, it can go 6 li deep into the sea. The GU masters in the house were shocked. Rank 2 GU worm, can go 6 li deep into the sea? Water shell GU, why haven't I heard of it? Fang Yuan smiled, you can try it. After trying it once, the GU masters were pleasantly surprised. They found this GU worm had an excellent advantage, it consumed very little Primeval essence. This is a rare rank 2 GU. Someone was so excited that his voice was trembling. A pity there is only one. Someone smacked his lips in pity. This person was immediately stared at by the old village head. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. Don't worry, everyone has one. Saying so, he took out many water shell GU. Sure enough, everyone had a share. Close to 10 water shell GU scattered on the spot, only one was left in Fang Yuan's hands. Fang Yuan passed it to the old village head. Pass this to me. The old village head was extremely moved, choking with emotions as he apologized. It is my fault, Master Chu is a magnanimous person. When Fang Yuan asked the old village head to gather all the GU masters in the village, the old village head was afraid that if Fang Yuan wanted to kill them all, what should he do? There was such a possibility. You might know a person's face but not his heart. Moreover, he had only interacted with him for 2 to 3 days. Thus, the old village head secretly placed the middle-aged GU master who had the highest chance of replacing him somewhere else, afraid that Fang Yuan was a beast in human form. Fang Yuan's action of gifting the water shell GU caused the old village head to be overjoyed and ashamed. But Fang Yuan had just started. This is the recipe of the water shell GU, I will give it to you all. Fang Yuan gave close to 10 GU recipes to all the GU masters present. The GU masters were stunned. Gifting a GU worm and gifting a GU recipe were 2 completely different concepts. Master Chu, how can we do this? The old village head received the GU recipe with trembling hands. It's nothing, everyone can take a look at the details of this GU recipe. Fang Yuan waved his hand. Everyone quickly looked at it, and soon, someone shouted in shock, oh heavens, the core GU material of this water shell GU is actually the spiral shell shells on the western side of the island. All the GU materials in this GU recipe are products of the island. Immediately, someone shouted in shock. Fang Yuan nodded, I have some experience in GU refinement. These days, I have been exchanging pointers with some GU masters to understand your lifestyle and cultivation, and also patrolling the island to see if there are any suitable GU materials that can be used. I created this GU recipe for all of you, so you have to accept it. Just as he finished speaking, Fang Yuan heard a plop sound. He turned around and saw the old village head kneeling on the ground. The old village head bowed towards Fang Yuan. I have eyes but failed to see. I did not know that Master Chu had such great attainment in GU refinement. I am even more ashamed. I actually misunderstood Master's good intentions. The old village head had not finished speaking when he was forcefully lifted up by Fang Yuan. Next, he saw Fang Yuan smiling at him. Sir, don't say that. I have always been a person who will repay a drop of kindness with a gushing spring. The GU materials I obtained from old Sir also solved a huge problem for me. Our meeting is all fate, we need to cherish it. But this water shell GU is my first creation, I am not too sure about its effect when I use it. Everyone, why don't you choose a few people to go into the sea with me and collect some black oil, to see its effect? I wouldn't dare to disobey. For the fastest novel reading without errors, please visit Chapter 1669. Water rippled in front of them. In the extreme silence, a group of GU masters went deeper into the sea. The light above them dimmed, the water pressure from all directions was increasing. Someone started to activate water shell GU. The water shell GU created by Fang Yuan was extremely effective. Almost at the same time, the fishing village's GU masters felt the pressure on them fall. They felt relaxed, as if a huge burden had been lifted off their shoulders. The GU masters showed joy on their faces, even though they had already tested water shell GU in the village head's house. But at this moment, someone sent out a warning signal. A large group of shuttle sea spiders rushed towards them. These sea spiders were extremely fast underwater, they moved in groups. Once they encountered prey, they would scatter and shoot out strong spider silk from their bodies, binding the prey and slaughtering them. Seeing such a large group of weaving sea spiders, the fishing village's GU masters turned pale. Even the old village head, a rank 3 GU master, had an expression of fear. He could not remain calm. The sea spiders were huge, they specialized in fighting with numbers, using the weak to attack the strong. Many fierce sea beasts would get entangled by them and die tragically. Even rank 3 GU masters would not be their match if they fought them. There were simply too many dangers in the sea. On the surface, the sea looked calm, but in fact, it was filled with turbulent undercurrents and killing intent. No worries. Fang Yuan transmitted. At the crucial moment, he waved his hand. At the next moment, the fishing village's GU master's eyes almost popped out of their socket. A huge water current formed instantly, pouncing on the sea spiders. It turned into a huge whirlpool. Like a tornado, it engulfed all the sea spiders. Let's go, I can't hold on for long, Fang Yuan purposely said. The fishing village's GU masters woke up from a dream. They quickly continued to dive. After reaching a safe distance, the GU masters turned around. The huge whirlpool started to dissipate. The sea spiders were in a daze. They had low intelligence, they moved based on their instincts. Without any prey in front of them, they gathered again and continued to swim. The GU masters felt relieved. They looked at Fang Yuan with admiration and reverence. Many GU masters who fought with Fang Yuan discovered that Master Chu Ying's battle strength was so strong. Most importantly, the way he dealt with it was very wise. If they went on a killing spree in the sea, the blood would attract even more trouble. Only by trapping him without killing him would he appear to be shrewd and ruthless. The group continued to move forward. With Fang Yuan's protection, these GU masters were not in any danger. Sea spiders were only one of the dangers lurking in the sea. Oil-collecting GU masters had to face no less than 100 types of fierce beasts. Sometimes when they encountered special sea currents, they could only go with the flow, powerless. For the rest of the journey, although there were still some troubles, it was no longer a disaster like the sea spiders. After swimming and stopping for a while, they finally arrived in front of the earth trench. He did not need to go deep into earth trench, because the black oil here was abundant. No GU immortal had been mining it all along. The earth trench was filled with black oil. At the same time, black oil was seeping out. These black oil looked like the tentacles of a giant octopus, or like seaweed that resembled a city wall. They were intertwined and messily. The fishing village's GU masters activated their GU worms, carefully approaching the seeping black oil. They started to collect the black oil like diligent bees. Fang Yuan did not make a move, he observed quietly from afar. These GU worms used to collect black oil were the core GU and vital GU of the oil-collecting GU masters. Fang Yuan did not ask about this in his previous interactions, it was a taboo. But with his current insight, he only needed to take a look to understand. Quasi-Supreme Grandmaster Refinement Path Attainment Level, this was not a joke. Around this nameless island, the number one resource is black oil. After I use this black oil as a material to refine GU worms and give them to them, their oil extraction efficiency will rise sharply. Just as he was thinking, a large group of seashell sharks charged over. These sharks opened their mouths. Their mouths were filled with white shells that were their sharp teeth. Seashell sharks were unique. They were born without teeth. As they grew up, they would choose shells from the bottom of the sea and keep them in their mouths. As time passed, these shells would use their gums as their living soil. As they grew older, they would become whiter and tougher. Seashell sharks would use these shells as their teeth. They were much more powerful than normal sharks when they bit their prey. This miraculous symbiotic relationship caused the young seabay shark to be weak in battle, but it also allowed the adult seabay shark to become the overlord of sharks in one leap. Right now, this group of sharks was charging over, be it individually or in numbers. They were much stronger than the weaving sea spiders. But the fishing village's GU masters were not flustered. They shuttled back and forth between the overflowing black oil ribbons, moving about with great agility. At times, they would spray out the black oil and create obstacles. The seashell sharks chased after these GU masters. They were huge. It was hard for them to move around the black oil. Once they got stuck by the black oil, their speed would fall. They might even get stuck to the black oil, unable to break free. The fishing village's GU masters used the terrain to quickly feed these seashell sharks to the black oil in the trench. These seashell sharks struggled until they had no strength left. They were engulfed by the black oil until they were completely devoured. Normally speaking, the black oil would take a long time to completely corrode these seashell sharks. Every inch of their flesh and bones would turn into new black oil. Black oil was an immortal material. It had food path down marks. It was not safe. The earth trench that was filled with black oil was a dangerous place. Fang Yuan saw this and sighed internally. He thought back to the first time he saw the black oil devouring its prey in the 500 years of his previous life. From that day on, he had nightmares for several nights. He dreamt that he was stuck by the black oil and was slowly devoured. Nobody could save him. Normally speaking, oil-collecting GU masters would travel in groups. They were afraid that they would get stuck by the black oil and die in the process. But the oil-collecting GU masters of a fishing village would not travel in groups. It was easy to cause conflict, and they could all die in a dangerous situation. Right now, almost all of the fishing village's GU masters were here. It was a special situation. I suggest that you try to drag out all of the seashell sharks that were trapped earlier. These are also GU materials. I can use them. Fang Yuan transmitted at this moment. Master Chu, these seashell sharks have been stained by the black oil. The old village head said hesitantly. Don't worry, I have a way to extract the black oil. Trust me, these seashell sharks will be very useful to you. Fang Yuan smiled. He had a GU recipe that used these seashell sharks as the main GU material. If he did not have water shell GU, these fishing village GU masters would not believe it. But since Fang Yuan displayed such strength, the old village head did not hesitate. He ordered, "You heard it, hurry up and do it. But be careful, we cannot get ourselves stained by the black oil. If we do, it will be too troublesome to deal with it." Not just troublesome, the price was huge. The black oil was an immortal material after all. Once it got stained, it would be food path Dao marks on the GU master's body. Just the rejection of different Dao marks was fatal, not to mention the GU master's mortal body could not withstand the corrosion of the black oil. Don't worry, if you get stained by the black oil, I can remove it for you. Fang Yuan said. His words made the GU masters overjoyed, but even with his guarantee, these GU masters were still very careful. They were afraid of getting stained by the black oil that they loved and hated. Seashell sharks were taken out one by one. Most of them were not dead, they were still alive. If they fell into the black oil, they would not suffocate to death for a while. At this time, an unexpected situation occurred. Look at what I found. A mermaid is trapped here. A GU master dragged out the corpse of a mermaid. Her body was covered in sticky black oil, her appearance could not be seen, only her body shape showed that she was a female. She seems to still have some aura. The GU master who saved the mermaid was surprised. Let me do it. Fang Yuan made his move. The GU masters were shocked, Because they saw the black oil was like an obedient child, it separated from the mermaid's body and gathered in front of Fang Yuan, forming into a huge black ball. Master Chu is truly unfathomable. With this method, how much black oil can he collect each time? The Jiyu masters were filled with envy. They also felt even more respect towards Fang Yuan. So don't worry, with me around, you will all be safe. Fang Yuan's action was purely to reassure these people, but at the next moment, the smile on his face froze. His gaze landed on the mermaid's face. He was in a daze. Moa. For the fastest and most up-to-date novel reading, please visit Chapter 1670. At this depth, the seawater was almost pitch black. But in Fang Yuan's vision, it was all eerie green. Good, this new GU is quite useful. With it, I can barely see in the deep sea. Fang Yuan was happy. The situation in the deep sea was complex. One could not blindly activate the light. No one knew what kind of predators would be attracted. In the midst of the dark green, there were a few strands of deep black. It was naturally the black oil. The black oil intertwined and tangled with each other, like a group of strange pythons. It was almost motionless, but it still gave people a strong visual impact. Fang Yuan breathed in deeply, the gills on his cheeks moved, filtering the air in the seawater for Fang Yuan to survive. Calming himself down, Fang Yuan cautiously approached the black oil. His hands slowly stretched out, stopping when they were about a foot away from the black oil. Next, he activated his GU worms. 2 lumps of bright blue light condensed in his palms. The 2 lumps of blue light each formed a small light pillar that shone on the black oil. Bit by bit, lumps of black oil flowed along the 2 light pillars, merging into Fang Yuan's palms. Fang Yuan's palms were like 2 bottomless holes, continuously absorbing the black oil. As time passed, Fang Yuan maintained a high level of vigilance. He was not only investigating the surroundings, he was also paying attention to the prime val essence reserves in his aperture. Because he activated several GU worms at the same time, Fang Yuan's prime val essence expenditure was not slow. Not long after, he reached a critical point. It is time to stop and return to the surface to rest. Sigh, my aptitude is not enough. If I had a grade aptitude, I could have lasted longer. Fang Yuan sighed inwardly. At the same time, he decisively stopped activating his GU worms and retreated. But in the final process of retreating, something unexpected happened. Suddenly, a huge force came from the calm seawater, sending Fang Yuan flying. Oh no, I encountered an impact current. Fang Yuan's heart shook, quickly activating his GU worms to escape. The impact current looked no different from ordinary seawater, but when it encountered life, it would burst forth with a huge impact force. Bam bam bam! While Fang Yuan was escaping, he was hit by the impact currents. His bones were fractured in several places, blood flowed out of his nose and mouth. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth, his eyes were bloodshot, thoughts flashing in his mind as he tried to find a way out. But he was not in his best condition, he had expended a lot of prime val essence, and this impact current was huge. Fang Yuan had no way to counter it, he could only rely on luck to dodge. Soon, Fang Yuan's prime val essence was expended. He was hit by the impact current on the black oil behind him. Am I going to die here? Fang Yuan could not break free, he could only watch as the black oil stuck to him, slowly spreading and engulfing him. His prime val essence was completely dried up, but fortunately, the gills were made of transformation path GU worms and could still last for some time. But this was truly a struggle at death's door. This is the last moment of my life. Sigh, I originally wanted to collect as much black oil as possible, accumulate wealth, and go to the sea market to exchange for a solution to the black oil corrosion on my body. Now, I don't have to worry about this anymore. Hee. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly and fell into deep despair. In the end, he was completely covered by the black oil, and his body was gradually engulfed by it. Am I going to die? Death was approaching, but Fang Yuan's heart was calm. Or, to be more precise, a stretch of indifference. He was also very indifferent to his own life and death. That's fine. If I die, then so be it. After coming to this world for so many years, I've wandered from place to place. I'm really tired. Who can avoid death? Then you might as well take a good rest. Fang Yuan closed his eyes. After an unknown period of time, he gradually regained some consciousness. Vaguely, he heard someone talking beside him. Saintus, why did you save this mortal Gu master? All these years, haven't the humans bullied us enough? That's right, Saintus, this Gu master is clearly an oil-collecting Gu master, but this sea area is the territory of us mermen. He is a sea rat that specializes in stealing our black oil. He is shameless to the extreme. We can let him die, there is no need to care about him. At this time, a clear and friendly voice spoke. Since we met him, how can we not save him? I know he is a human and not a merman, but he is also a life. The ones bullying us are human forces, it has nothing to do with him, a lone shadow branch human Gu master. He is here to steal our black oil, but how much can he steal alone? He is taking such a huge risk to secretly collect black oil, it shows that he is an ostracized person, he is in a difficult situation. We can help him, why should we be stingy? Saintus, is it good for you to be so kind? He is not a big shot, he is too lowly, there is no use in saving him. Fang Yuan used all his strength to barely open his eyes. His vision was still blurry, he could only see 3 figures. One white, one blue, and one red. Human body, fish tail, from the figures, he could tell that they were 3 mermen. Mermen were a type of variant humans, they were born with the ability to breathe in water and live freely. Mermen were close to rivers and lakes, they were most skilled in water paths. Be it male or female, they were all very beautiful. Thank you, for saving my life, I will repay you. May I know your names, benefactors? Fang Yuan spoke with difficulty, his voice was hoarse, but it became smoother as he spoke. But this was already the limit of his current abilities, his body was too tired, he could not muster any strength, he was already using all his strength to speak. Chemph, we don't need your repayment. If not for Saintus' insistence, we would not have saved a dirty human like you. You don't need to know our names, but Saintus' name is Xiehan Mo, remember it well, remember it for life. To be saved by the Saintus, this is really a blessing that you have cultivated for 8 lifetimes. Alright, the 2 of you should stop before going too far. The white figure sighed gently, before saying to Fang Yuan, even though you are very weak now, I have already healed your injuries. You seemed to have been corroded by the black oil. I can't heal such an injury in one go, but I left a Gu worm for you. With it, you can heal yourself. Saying so, the white figure left with his 2 subordinates, until they were completely out of Fang Yuan's vision. Fang Yuan wanted to speak, but he had used up all his strength, he could not speak. Extreme fatigue and weakness caused his vision to turn dark again. All of these scenes happened 500 years ago in his previous life. Fang Yuan's gaze regained clarity, he woke up from his memories. Right now, he had already led the fishing village's Gu masters back to the island. This was the old village head's house, it was not dark at all. It was evening, the light of the setting sun shone in through the window. Outside the window, seabirds were flying above the beach, chirping loudly. The mermaid that was accidentally saved was a little girl, and she was still unconscious. After being saved by Fang Yuan, her pale face had regained some color of health. Her thick eyelashes cast 2 shadows on her cheeks under the light of the setting sun. Looking at this mermaid girl, Fang Yuan's gaze went into a daze. Now that he looked closely, this girl was not the Xiehan Mo in Fang Yuan's memories, there was a huge difference in appearance, even though they were both extremely beautiful. They can only be considered similar. Also, and there was a huge difference between this mermaid girl and Xiehan Mo, that was the color of their scales. Mermaids had a human body and a fish tail, their scales had all sorts of colors. Blue and red were common, white and black were very rare. White-scaled mermaids had the qualifications to compete for Saintus and Sun, while black-scaled mermaids were cursed and inauspicious. Once they were born, they would be strangled and killed, often by their parents. Xiehan Mo was a white-scaled mermaid, she was the Saintus of the merman race. And this mermaid girl had blue scales, in the merman culture, she was very ordinary. Master Chu. At this time, the old village head and the middle-aged Gu master came to the door. After Fang Yuan nodded slightly, The two of them walked in lightly. After collecting the black oil from the sea, be it the old village head or the middle-aged GU master, they looked at Fang Yuan with extreme respect. On one hand, it was Fang Yuan's unfathomable strength, on the other hand, it was the benefits that Fang Yuan brought them. Water shell GU was very useful, the GU masters who went to collect the oil knew it. And most importantly, after returning, Fang Yuan promised to design a GU worm for them. This GU worm would be of great help to them in the oil collection field. Master Chu, the food is ready.
Are you?
The old village head smiled. I will take care of her, master, don't worry. When she wakes up, I will bring her to you. The middle-aged GU master said. Fang Yuan looked at the mermaid girl, shaking his head as he walked out of the house. No need to bring her to me, when she wakes up, tell her to leave. Even though this is human territory, she came to collect the black oil, it is considered stealing. But it seems that she is not having an easy time, for my sake, let her off. Master Chu, don't worry, we will not make things difficult for her. That's right, these years, many mermen have come to this island to steal the black oil. We have always closed one eye, after all, there is so much black oil in Earth Trench, we cannot collect it all, it is fine to give us some. The old village head chuckled. Fang Yuan nodded. He had obtained all the information he needed from the old village head and this mermaid girl's soul. There was something interesting. In the outside world, mermen had lower status than humans, there were many conflicts between them. But here, the relationship between mermen and humans was much better, they interacted a lot and lived in peace, there were even intermarriages. Chapter 1671. In the small house, it was as if waves were surging. The dark red light was like waves, moving around with Fang Yuan at the center. Fang Yuan was refining GU. His fingers were spread open, a dark ball was held in his palms. This ball was the size of a washbasin, it was flowing slowly on the surface, it was the essence that Fang Yuan extracted from the black oil. The GU refinement was already at the middle stage, it was the most crucial moment. Fang Yuan willed as his immortal aperture's entrance opened slightly, he took out a dazzling golden scale. The scale shot into the black oil ball, causing a slight explosion. In Fang Yuan's vision, the black oil ball expanded at the moment of the explosion. At the same time, golden light shined in the black oil ball, condensing into a golden dot. Fang Yuan's fingers moved slightly, the black oil ball floated in the air and started to rotate rapidly. As it rotated, the golden light flickered continuously. A stench started to spread, this was the impurities being expelled by Fang Yuan. When the stench was about to spread out of the small house, an immortal formation flashed, it was like a pot cover, it was translucent blue and restrained the stench inside, not letting it leak out. This stench was also an immortal material, it contained food path down marks, it was much scarier than the black oil. If a mortal GU master came in contact with it, they would die immediately. Fang Yuan's GU refinement was already at the level of a GU immortal, because he used two immortal materials. One was the black oil, the other was the golden fish scale, it was pulled out from the desolate beast golden dragonfish. After a series of deductions, Fang Yuan found that the golden dragonfish and the black oil had a high degree of compatibility. One golden dragonfish scale was not enough, next, Fang Yuan threw in more golden scales. The black oil ball turned into a black gold color, many incomplete GU worms started to appear in the ball. Fang Yuan was refining gather oil GU. It was specially refined for the GU masters of the fishing village. The entire GU recipe was created by Fang Yuan, of course, he also used the contents of Shadow Sects and Lang Ya's True Inheritances as reference. Fang Yuan sincerely wanted to help the fishing village's oil-collecting GU masters. Why? In the end, it was still the mission on the Merit Stele. What is merit? Fang Yuan had been pondering this question since the beginning. Was the task on the Merit Stele as simple as it seemed on the surface? The more Fang Yuan thought about it, the more he felt that Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's intention was in this. Thus, helping these fishing village GU masters was to complete the mission and also to verify some of Fang Yuan's guesses. Fang Yuan didn't have any psychological burden when he did bad things. Similarly, Doing good deeds required a calm and tranquil heart. In fact, to him, there was no good or bad, nor was there good or evil. He had long since become indifferent to these concepts. In this world, there were only advantages and disadvantages. Now that Paradise Earth's true inheritance was in front of him, Fang Yuan was willing to do some good deeds to help him reap more benefits. Xia Lin slowly opened her eyes. She was awake. I did not die. After being dazed for a while, she reacted. She had a dazed expression, but her eyes started to shine brightly. Mermaid, you are quite lucky. If we found you later, you would have died, you would have been corroded and turned into new black oil. The middle-aged GU master sensed that the mermaid had woken up. He walked into the house. My name is Xia Lin. Did you save me? The mermaid struggled to get up. Not me, it was Master Chu. You should thank him, he was the one who healed your injuries. The middle-aged GU master smiled. The mermaid was reminded and quickly inspected herself. At the next moment, she was overjoyed. Unbelievable. I was corroded by the black oil, my injuries were too severe to heal, even the strongest healing GU master in the clan could not do anything, but now, I am completely healed. The middle-aged GU master smiled proudly. Of course. Don't you know who saved you? It was Master Chu. Saying so, the scene of Fang Yuan saving her appeared in the middle-aged GU master's mind again. The GU masters of the fishing village were stunned on the spot. They could not regain their senses for a long time. Master Chu saved my life and healed my injuries. How can I not repay such kindness? The mermaid pursed her lips, showing a firm expression. Lord, please introduce me. Even if I have to die, I will repay you. All right, follow me. Follow me. The middle-aged GU master thought for a moment before opening the door and walking out of the room. The mermaid Xia Lin supported herself up, using GU worms to create a lump of water that supported her as she followed behind the middle-aged GU master. The two walked into the courtyard, passing through a vegetable garden. They arrived outside Fang Yuan's house. Rumble. Suddenly, a black gold pillar of light shot out of the house, charging into the sky. This is... What happened? This phenomenon could be seen from 1,000 li away. It attracted the attention of the fishing village's GU masters. After Master Chu finished his dinner, he said he was going to refine GU. He locked himself in the small room and instructed that no one was to disturb him. The old village head looked at him with hope. This means that Master Chu should have some progress in refining GU. Master Chu's GU refinement attainment is too high. Just from this scene, I can tell that his GU refinement is not ordinary. What you're saying is nonsense. Master Chu is an expert. How can he be ordinary? Xia Lin listened carefully. The GU master's conversations made her imagine the image of an expert GU master in her mind. He had white hair, he was gentle and refined, he was shrewd and strong, but he was benevolent. The dark golden pillar of light faded, a dark fragrance spread in the courtyard. There was a huge hole in the roof of the house. A moment later, the door of the house was pushed open from the inside. Fang Yuan walked out. The fishing village's GU masters were waiting for him. Seeing that Fang Yuan came out, they quickly bowed and greeted, Master Chu. The mermaid Xia Lin looked at Fang Yuan curiously. Master Chu was so young, this was out of her expectations. She immediately knelt down. Master Chu, my life was saved by you. This life-saving grace, even if I have to die a horrible death, I must repay it. No need. It was just a small matter. Fang Yuan looked at the mermaid. She was not Xia Hanmo after all. The dead were gone, they were gone with the wind. Several days later, Fang Yuan returned to the Merit Obelisk. Oh! A new mission appeared. Fang Yuan's gaze focused. He soon noticed the changes on the obelisk. There were only 10 missions originally, but now there were still 10 missions, but most of the content had changed. And on the merit board on the other side of the Merit Obelisk, the rankings had also changed. 3rd place. Fang Yuan soon found his position. He was overjoyed. Most of his guesses were verified. From Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's perspective, merit meant helping others and doing good deeds. Fang Yuan saw this ranking and analyzed the others' positions. He was certain, if he worked alone and collected the black oil, he would not be at this position. Of course, he could not just help these GU masters without doing anything. Thus, after refining gather oil GU and distributing it, Fang Yuan went into the sea alone and collected most of the black oil, leaving a small portion for the fishing village's GU masters. At the foot of the merit obelisk, there were some information path mortal GU. Fang Yuan picked them up and looked into them. As expected, these were the GU worms left behind by Miao Mingshun and the rest. They recorded their discoveries. Some people found out that humans and mermen coexisted peacefully here. They had equal statuses. Some chose missions with high difficulty. Even though they killed the desolate beast, many humans were implicated and lost their lives. After returning, they found out that they were at the bottom of the merit board. Some people deduced the meaning of the merit board. It was to do good deeds and help others. But this was only a guess. It had not been verified yet. These GU immortals who were chosen by Miao Mingshun were not fools. Miao Mingshun's discovery made Fang Yuan's eyes shine. He found that they were not the only ones who came to this blessed land. There were GU immortal predecessors who came before them. The most valuable piece of information came from Feng Jiang. He found out that there was a sea area in this blessed land. It was a forbidden area. It was called Demon Suppression Regret Crying Sea. According to rumors, after Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable enlightened this grotto heaven and turned it into a blessed land, he suppressed a peerless demon in this sea area and set up a super immortal formation to make him repent. Thus, this sea area was filled with the cries of this peerless demon. Chapter 1672. In front of the rank 8 immortal GU house merit obelisk, an information path mortal GU was casually thrown down by Fang Yuan. In this GU worm, Fang Yuan told the truth. He recorded the process of collecting the black oil on the island, as well as the verification of the merit board. If any GU immortals returned, they would definitely obtain this information. There was no need to hide this information. Firstly, these people already had their guesses. Secondly, this guess could be easily verified. Rather than that, it was better to let Fang Yuan expose it before they could verify it. Or rather, to put it simply, this secret is not a secret at all. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable probably created this true inheritance intentionally. He wanted to guide people to do good. This was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's style of doing things. At this point, Fang Yuan no longer had any doubts about the authenticity of Paradise Earth's true inheritance. GU Masters and GU Immortals left behind their inheritances. This was one of the greatest cultural characteristics of this world. Each inheritance was filled with the mark of an individual. They retained their personal style or had a strong will. For example, the Flower Wine Monk's inheritance, he wanted to take revenge on Gua village. Even if he died, he wanted to take revenge. Thus, he left behind a shadow that depicted Gua tribe leader's defeat. He dug a tunnel and lured Fang Yuan to destroy Gua village's spirit spring. Another example was 88-point Zhenyang Tower. This was the luck path true inheritance left behind by Giant Sun Immortal. Its main purpose was to maintain the Huangjin bloodline in northern plains. To maintain their rule, it was the benefit that Giant Sun Immortal sought for his descendants. There was also Heifan's true inheritance. Heifan had intended to pass his legacy to his granddaughter, but due to a mistake in fate, he did not get what he wanted. There was also the Shadow Sect true inheritance. If Spectral Soul did not fail and was not captured by the Celestial Court, this true inheritance would not have existed. But things did not go according to plan. He was captured and Fang Yuan took over. In order to increase his strength and fight for the slightest hope in this desperate situation, there was the Shadow Sect true inheritance. Every inheritance was different. The Paradise Earth true inheritance was different from the other true inheritances. It was filled with peace, kindness, light, and warmth. If I fail and die one day, I won't have any hope no matter how hard I try. In that case, I will also leave behind an inheritance. Fang Yuan's thoughts spread. Although he was an otherworldly demon, he had lived here, struggled, and fought for so long that he had long since integrated into this world. If he had set up the true inheritance of Fang Yuan, it would have been to encourage those who came after him to pursue eternal life. Time passed quickly and 70 or 80 days passed in the blink of an eye. During this period, Fang Yuan completed many more missions. His name was always at the top of the merit list. Hua hua hua, as the tide rose and fell, the fishy sea breeze blew on his face. This time, Fang Yuan came to City B. His task was to punish a profiteer in this sea market. Sea markets were very popular in the East China Sea. According to the size, there were 4 types: small, medium, large, and super sea markets. According to the time division, there were temporary sea markets and fixed sea markets. The sea market was a place where cultivation resources were distributed and exchanged. In this paradise, there was also a sea market. This was a fixed sea market. Although it was not open all year round, it was open most of the time every year. At the core of the sea market was a small island. This island would be submerged by the sea for half a year. This was also the time when the sea market closed. When the island was exposed, the sea market would open. Outside the island, there were large numbers of GU houses. They looked like boats. They were linked together using decks and chains, forming the outer sea market. Walking on the deck, Fang Yuan was surrounded by people. There were human GU masters and mermen. There were also many mermen. They occupied almost half of the area. This situation was very rare in the 5 regions. After all, humans were the rulers now. Other variant humans were suppressed and ostracized. There was almost no space for them to live. They had to tuck their tails between their legs. Come, take a look. These are the best crystal corals. There are 3 GU house river cart left. Hurry up and buy them. Buying Great Ming clay, buy as much as you can. The shouts, the sounds of buying and selling, and the sounds of haggling, they were everywhere, entering Fang Yuan's ears. It was a different kind of clamor and bustle. Large numbers of GU masters had set up stalls of all sizes on the deck. There were very few mortals doing business. Fang Yuan walked past one GU house after another, heading towards the core island at the center of the sea market. He had already investigated. This mission was to punish the unscrupulous merchant, and this unscrupulous merchant was at the center of the island. Of course, completing the mission was only Fang Yuan's secondary goal. His main goal was to obtain information. This sea market was closest to Demon Suppression Regret Crying Sea. There were large numbers of GU masters and forces gathered here. Fang Yuan had a high chance of obtaining information about Regret GU. Although it had been so long since he came here, Fang Yuan had not entered Demon Suppression Regret Crying Sea even once. GU immortals did not have much freedom in this paradise. Like the first mission, Fang Yuan could only patrol around the island. There was a limit to the distance. Every mission's location had such restrictions. As for returning to the merit obelisk, it was simple. The GU immortal only needed to chant return 3 times. From this, Fang Yuan could feel Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's methods. Even though Fang Yuan had a deep foundation and rank 8 cultivation level, he could not unravel Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's arrangements, even though he had never stopped researching the merit obelisk and this paradise. Other than that, the communication between GU immortals was also obstructed. Firstly, they could not communicate with jewel yellow skies or the outside world. Secondly, they could not communicate with each other in time. Left with no choice, everyone thought of the stupid method of leaving information path mortal GU in front of the merit obelisk. It should be here. After a while, Fang Yuan stopped. This was a gambling den. The plaque on the door had the words Golden Jade House written on it. Golden Jade House was at the center of the island. It represented the highest standard of this sea market. Not any random GU master could enter the island. There was strict security here. Of course, how could mortal methods do anything to Fang Yuan? Looks like I might as well gamble on rocks. Fang Yuan laughed inwardly. To punish unscrupulous merchants, it was not to kill them. Fang Yuan had been a merchant for a period of time, and had even opened a gambling den himself. He was very clear on what he had to do to make a gambling den merchant feel heartache. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan stepped in. Some memories suddenly surfaced in his mind at this moment. Ha ha ha, who wants to gamble with me? Even the saintess is afraid. Do you still dare? A sturdy merman shouted arrogantly. Around him, there were many human GU masters and mermen. Most of the mermen stared at him angrily, but could only grit their teeth. This Liu Da is truly despicable. He actually dared to provoke Lady Saintus in the sea market. He doesn't have the guts, it's the patriarch of the Frost Tide tribe behind him who is supporting him. This cannot go on, it will damage Lady Saintus' reputation. What do we do? The blue-scaled and red-scaled guards were deeply worried. What does it matter? Xie Mo smiled lightly. Let him do as he pleases, no matter how much reputation he loses, it cannot shake my foundation. The other party is using this method to provoke me, it means they are already panicking. We do not need to fight, we just need to follow the rules and win. The blue-scaled and red-scaled guards immediately felt as if they had come to a sudden realization after hearing her words. Saintus is the clearest, you are right, Lu Da is just a clown. But I still feel a little sullen about making Saintus suffer. Can't some of us merfolk stand up to fight against Lu Da? Xie Mo smiled. Lu Da is a rank 4 expert after all, he has over 10 years of reputation in this sea market. It is understandable that no merman is willing to step forward, we need to be tolerant. The moment she said that, a voice resounded, I will gamble with you. Who was it? Who dared to challenge Lu Da's authority? Everyone turned to look, only to see a human GU master walk out of the crowd. Xie Mo was stunned, the blue and red scales guards said together, it is the human GU master that we save. The merman GU master Lu Da was also surprised, he frowned as he stared at Fang Yuan, saying, human GU master, this is our merman tribe's matter, do you need to get involved? To speak the truth, your Saintus saved my life once, I am here to repay her kindness. Fang Yuan had a firm attitude, he looked at Lu Da fearlessly. This lad, we did not waste our efforts in saving him. The blue and red scales guards nodded. Xie Mo sighed, let's go, he is an outsider, we cannot let his sacrifice be in vain. The red and blue scales were surprised, they quickly stopped her. Saintus, you analyzed this situation earlier, we cannot show ourselves. Once we show ourselves, we will fall into their trap. On the stage, Lu Da showed a ruthless expression, he laughed from extreme anger, good. Human GU master, since you are courting death, don't blame me. I have already stated the rules of the duel, come. I will let you choose first, let's see whose GU worm is better. You can choose first. Fang Yuan's gaze shined with brilliance as he smiled calmly. The first exchange was very short and ended with Fang Yuan's victory. The second battle lasted for a long time, but the victor was still Fang Yuan. Human GU master, I have underestimated you. Tell me your name, you are qualified for me to remember it. Lu Da showed a solemn expression, he looked at Fang Yuan in a new light. I am Guyue Fang Yuan, remember it well. I have opened a gambling den before. Fang Yuan raised his voice, this is the final round, it's your turn. Lu Da chose a rock in silence. Then, he suddenly attacked and destroyed all the other rocks in the field. You are cheating. Fang Yuan's expression changed. Lu Da laughed loudly, why would I cheat? I have already said that the two sides cannot attack each other, but that does not include these rocks. I have the rocks now, and I am sure there are GU worms here. But you are empty-handed, so no matter what GU worm I have, whether it is dead or alive, you will lose. Lad, you only have rank 3 cultivation, you dare to come here, and this is the sea market that I have been managing for over 10 years. Hei, kill yourself, I don't have to do it. Fang Yuan clenched his fists, about to retaliate. Wait. A voice resounded, the crowd split apart as Xie Mo walked into the stage with a cold expression. For the fastest novel reading, please visit Chapter 1673. Fang Yuan suppressed the memories in his mind. He entered Golden Jade House. This gambling den was considered high class, there were dozens of huge rocks in the hall, suppressing the scene. Behind the hall were small rooms with all sorts of rock dissecting GU worms, satisfying the customer's hobby of personally dissecting rocks. Of course, experienced rock dissecting GU masters were also well equipped. It was not difficult for Fang Yuan to determine whether these rocks contained GU worms. After all, he was already a GU immortal, it was not hard for him to use immortal methods to find mortal GU. Similarly, No matter how weak the GU worms sealed in the rocks were, immortal methods could usually heal them. Even if they could not be healed, don't forget, Fang Yuan was a refinement path quasi-great grandmaster. Thus, sweeping through all mortal rocks and mortal GU was a piece of cake for Fang Yuan. Of course, above mortal rocks, there were immortal rocks, or more accurately, immortal materials. After an immortal GU is sealed and hibernated, the immortal material with corresponding Dao marks would gradually condense on the surface of the GU worm. In order to gamble on this immortal material, most immortal methods would be ineffective. Fang Yuan was about to use his methods to teach this unscrupulous merchant in Golden Jade House a lesson when he suddenly heard people arguing at the back of the hall. "You are cheating!" The mermaid Xia Lin shouted in anger and shock. "I am cheating? Hehe, why would I cheat? The information path GU worm's contents are clear, even though you have paid back some, there is still a large amount left." The person standing in front of the mermaid was also a merman, but his body was like a bear, there was a long scar on his face, his body was filled with killing intent. You. Xia Lin pointed at this merman, her eyes were red. "You are shameless. You actually tampered with the contract, the loan I made with you only had 10% interest. But now, you secretly increased it by 60%. The scarred merman's expression turned solemn, he looked at Xia Lin with a ruthless gaze. "You cannot say such things, young lady. You are trying to ruin our reputation. All businessmen care about our reputation. If our reputation is ruined, who would come to our shop? Can you bear the losses caused by this? Fart. Even if I die, I will expose the true face of your unscrupulous shop." The scarred merman's tone changed, he said eerily, "Die? So naive, sometimes, the feeling of wishing for death is more terrifying." A peculiar light flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. This familiar voice reminded him of the mermaid girl he saved several months ago. Why was she here? Xia Lin's tears flowed down her face. Several months ago, her only relative, her grandfather, had passed away. Mermaid sea burial required a high price. In order to bury her grandfather at sea, she could only borrow primordial stones on credit. In order to repay the debt, she had no choice but to take the risk to collect the black oil and almost died in the earth trench black oil. Fortunately, he met Fang Yuan and the others, and was miraculously saved. Xia Lin also obtained gather oil GU from Fang Yuan, thus her oil extraction efficiency rose sharply and she quickly earned a large number of primeval stones from selling the oil. She brought these primordial stones to the Golden Jade House to pay off the debt, but she didn't expect the shop to be so shameless as to tamper with the IOU. A feeling of death rose in Xia Lin's heart. Her only family member had passed away. In this world, she was all alone. She had been ostracized by her tribe since she was a child, and her life had changed drastically. Her heart was filled with confusion and discouragement. She felt that the world was pale, and she could not find any joy in living. What's so scary about death? Death is the end of everything. Thinking so, Xia Lin shouted and attacked. Hua! With a loud explosion, a torrent of water sprayed out. The scarred merman did not expect such a situation to occur. A rank 2 GU master actually attacked him, a rank 3 GU master, in Golden Jade House's territory. The scarred merman was caught unprepared and was swept away by the torrent. He flew backward and smashed into 2 walls and a large number of decorative bottles. This commotion was too big. The GU masters who were quietly choosing, dissecting, and gambling stones came to the hall one after another. Many gazes landed on Xia Lin and the scarred merman. What happened? Hehe, what else could it be? This Golden Jade House must have used some method to harm innocent people. Quiet down, this Golden Jade House's owner is the local tyrant. I heard that Golden Jade House often gives out high-interest loans to exploit low-level GU masters. It is better to avoid trouble. This is the merfolk's internal matter, it has nothing to do with us humans. At this time, the scarred merman stood up from the rubble. You have guts, you actually dared to attack me, I will make you wish you were dead. He approached Xia Lin. Xia Lin's expression was pale, she was intimidated by his aura but she bit her lips and did not retreat. The distance between the two shrunk, just as the scarred merman was about to attack, a voice resounded, "Wait." The scarred merman stopped moving, the anger and malevolence on his face disappeared as he lowered his head towards the person who stopped him. "Shopkeeper, why are you here?" It was the owner of Golden Jade House, a fat yellow-scaled merman. The yellow-scaled merman frowned as he shouted at the scarred merman. "What are you doing? Are you trying to destroy my shop?" "Shopkeeper, it's her." Before the scarred merman finished speaking, he was interrupted. "How many times have I told you, harmony brings wealth, harmony brings wealth, do you understand?" "Yes, yes." The scarred merman did not dare to retort, he quickly nodded like an obedient child. A chill spread throughout Xia Lin's body. She had been through a lot, she had lived with her grandfather since she was young, she had tasted the coldness of the world. Someone who can make the scarred merman lower his hands like this must be even more terrifying. With such a clear understanding, Xia Lin looked at the yellow-scaled merman's smiling expression, her wariness was raised to the limit. The yellow-scaled merman stared at Xia Lin for a while before speaking. "Little girl, don't worry, I am a reasonable person. With me around, I can ensure your safety, no one will touch you. But I want you to be reasonable too. The debt you owe is written in black and white, are you trying to deny it?" At the mention of this, Xia Lin became furious. "You are shameless, changing the IOU, changing the interest from 10% to 60%. I do not owe you anything, I have already paid you back." The yellow-scaled merman's smile became wider. "Little girl, I did not expect you to be so good at acting at such a young age. But it is useless. No matter how realistic your acting is, you can't prove anything with just words alone. On the other hand, our IOU is clear, it is clear who is right and who is wrong. You. Xia Lin pointed at the yellow-scaled merman, she was so angry she could not speak. The yellow-scaled merman laughed and waved his hand. Forget it, little girl, I will not bully a junior like you, in case people say that my Golden Jade House is bullying my customers. How about this? Pay me back half of the debt and I will let you go, all the debts will be written off. I am already very sincere. Think about it, if you pay me back, you will only be paying 30% interest. This is the market outside. Which bank didn't charge this level of interest when they borrowed money? You said we agreed on 10% interest. Who would believe it if he said it out loud? Go outside and look. Which bank only wants 10% of the profit? Xia Lin's chest rose and fell, her eyes were red from anger. Precisely because of the 30% interest in the market, Xia Lin borrowed from Golden Jade House back then. To think that this was a trap, she fell into the hands of this black shop. Seeing that Xia Lin was silent, the yellow-scaled merman took out an information path. "Mortal GU. This is our agreement, if you pay me back now, I will return this agreement to you." Xia Lin was slightly stunned before smiling coldly. "I do not have enough yuan stone." The yellow-scaled merman laughed as he clapped. "No problem, if you do not have yuan stone, you can use GU worms to repay the debt. I know you have a gather oil GU, use it to pay off your debt and this matter will be settled." Xia Lin heard this and came to a realization. "So this is your true motive, you want my gather oil GU? Page, this is a rank 5 GU, you are dreaming. Even if I die, I will not give this GU to you." The surrounding GU masters heard this and went into an uproar. "Gather oil GU? Did I hear wrongly? That rank 5 GU that has been spreading like wildfire recently? I heard that it can be used to collect black oil with shocking efficiency. Not just shocking, it is a top-quality GU. Even though gather oil GU is rank 5, it consumes the GU master's bone marrow instead of Primeval essence, even rank 1 GU masters can use it. I heard that not long ago, someone misused gather oil GU and killed himself. Sigh, he abused it too much. With the help of bone path GU worms, gather oil GU is very safe." Clap clap clap. The yellow-scaled merman clapped. "Young lady, you are a smart person, you should understand the principle of possessing a precious item. A grand rank 5 GU, how can you, a rank 2 GU master, protect it? Hand it over. I am not the one who is looking for trouble, others will. Hand it over and exchange for a safe future, isn't that good? Oh no. Even if I die, I will not hand it over to a disgusting person like you." Xia Lin was firm, she resisted to the end. The yellow-scaled merman felt a headache. Stealing someone else's GU master was very difficult. Xia Lin only needed a thought to make the GU worm self-destruct. By then, the yellow-scaled merman's plan would fail. The ideal situation would be for Xia Lin to hand it over. Secondly, he could use theft path methods. But theft path GU masters did not exist in this paradise, it was only a legend. And even if there were theft path GU masters, it was too difficult to steal a rank 5 GU worm. The yellow-scaled merman was not flustered, he had already planned for such a situation. At this time, he could not let Xia Lin push him too hard, thus, the yellow-scaled merman decided to give in. How about this? I will give you a chance, you give me a chance too. Let's make a bet. Bet. Let's bet on rocks, on the GU we open. Some wins over none, superior wins over inferior. 2 wins out of 3. Xia Lin sneered, you despicable person, going back on your words and changing the agreement, how can I trust you? The yellow-scaled merman thought about it, he waved his hand and tossed that information path mortal GU to Xia Lin. Xia Lin received it and was very surprised. The yellow-scaled merman added, I can also make an oath to the sea god. Mermen were different from humans, they had their own beliefs, they believed in the sea god. Making an oath in the name of the sea god was very solemn, it showed great sincerity. Almost no merman did not trust the sea god. The yellow-scaled merman said with sincerity again, what are you hesitating for? Gambling on rocks depends on judgment, but even more depends on luck. I will give you this chance, don't be ungrateful. I will tell you the truth, this is your only chance to leave today, you need to grasp it. The yellow-scaled merman used both hard and soft tactics. Xia Lin was flustered. Just as she was hesitating, she heard a voice resounding in her mind, don't be afraid, I am here, bet with him. Master Chu. At once, Xia Lin almost screamed in joy. Fang Yuan continued, but you need to change this bet, it is too small. If you trust me, let's make it big. I trust you, master, Xia Lin replied without hesitation. Because her life was saved by Fang Yuan. If Fang Yuan wanted to harm her, he did not need to save her. My life was saved by Master Chu in the first place. If he wants to harm me, I will accept it, at most, I will return my life to him. Thinking of this, Xia Lin replied to Fang Yuan in her mind, Master Chu, I will listen to whatever you say. For the fastest and most up-to-date novel reading, please visit Chapter 1674. Stone gambling was indeed a matter that depended on luck. No one could deny this point, be it GU Masters or GU Immortals. But the yellow-scaled merman was very confident in himself. Because he was prepared. These years, he had opened this golden jade house and often gambled on rocks. After so many years, he observed, analyzed, and picked out some rocks. He was very confident in the items in these rocks. The items in these rocks were not valuable, if they were, he would have opened them himself, he would not have left them in the shop until now. He was thinking of his own business. These rocks had a high chance of producing GU worms, even though they were not valuable, to the customers, it was a small thrill. It was like bait on a hook, attracting them to gamble and invest more money. The yellow-scaled merman knew where these rocks were placed. Sometimes, he would purposely sell his rock gambling experience in front of important customers. By opening these rocks, he would get GU worms, creating an image of himself as an expert in rock gambling. Right now, the yellow-scaled merman was using these rocks to gamble with Xia Lin, he had high confidence in himself. But in the first round, he tasted defeat. Xia Lin actually got a rank 3 GU worm, suppressing him. This was a good start. The surrounding GU masters gasped in shock. The yellow-scaled merman's gaze was also uncertain. Was this mermaid girl hiding her strength? He had suggested winning 2 out of 3 rounds earlier, but Xia Lin changed it to winning 3 out of 5. The stakes were even higher, including the whole golden jade house. At the same time, the rules changed. As long as Xia Lin lost once, she would have to hand over Gather Oil GU. But now, Xia Lin won. Not only did she keep Gather Oil GU, she even got 20% of Golden Jade House. What a joke, I actually lost. The yellow-scaled merman could not believe it. He stared at the mermaid girl in front of him, the suspicion in his heart dissipated. The yellow-scaled merman was experienced, he could tell that Xia Lin was a newbie. Especially when she opened the GU worm, her expression of joy was not fake, it was her true emotions. There was also proof, Xia Lin did not know how to open rocks herself. She chose the rocks with the help of the rock dissection GU masters in Golden Jade House. Damn it, looks like she got lucky. Fortunately, the bet has been changed. If it was the best of 3, I would be in a very passive position. Now that it's best of 5, I still have a lot of room for improvement. Thinking of this, the yellow-scaled merman looked at the rock dissecting GU master behind Xia Lin with an extremely secretive gaze. The rock dissecting GU master nodded slightly. The yellow-scaled merman laughed in his heart, with one of them here, no matter what rock Xia Lin chose, even if it had GU, she would be able to turn it into a dead or crippled one. Let's see how she's going to fight me now. The second round began. It's my turn to choose first, Xia Lin said. Go ahead, the yellow-scaled merman replied with a smile. Xia Lin circled left and right twice and was dazzled. I choose this. Suddenly, she stopped and pointed at a strange stone in front of her. This strange rock was very strange. There were countless holes on its surface, and its shape was also distorted. Its texture was not dense, as if it was formed by the accumulation of sand. According to the rock gambling terms, this was a sand cave rock. It was very difficult to extract a GU worm from it. Seeing Xia Lin's choice, the yellow-scaled merman laughed. He pretended to walk around, touching this and knocking on that. After a while, he patted a huge rock and said, "Then I'll choose this one." The rock dissection began. The yellow-scaled merman did it personally, while Xia Lin asked a GU master who specialized in dissecting rocks. This bet was public, the two sides fought in the main hall. More and more people came to watch. As they conversed, those who came later learned of this huge bet, they stopped in interest and chose to watch. For GU masters, this was a huge bet. On one side was the entire Golden Jade House, it had been operated for many years, it had a lot of capital. On the other side was the rank 5 top quality Gather Oil GU. The two side stakes were about the same, because Gather Oil GU was too outstanding, with it to collect black oil, the profits would be quite high. The yellow-scaled merman chose a huge rock, it took some time to dissect it. Xia Lin's rock was dissected very quickly. After all, the sand cave rock was made of such a rough material. The GU master who dissected Xia Lin's rock was very generous, he did not feel any burden at all. Because even if he accidentally hurt his GU worm, the yellow-scaled merman would be happy about it. But at this time, Xia Lin suddenly said, "Use the grey earth method." The rock dissecting GU master slowed down, he looked at Xia Lin. "Are you sure? This method has limited effect on sand cave rocks." "I am sure," Xia Lin said. The rock dissecting GU master shook his head. "Little girl, I am not lying, since I dissected the rock for you, I will not lie. You can ask the people around, they all know that this grey earth method has almost no effect on sand cave rocks. I don't need to ask, just do it." The previous bet was very clear. Charlene insisted. Good, good, good. The rock dissecting GU master nodded. Once the grey earth method was used, the efficiency of the sand cave rock fell to rock bottom. The rock dissecting GU master felt very depressed. Earlier, he was like a chef using a knife to cut tofu. Now, he was using a needle to stab the tofu. The prime valessence expenditure was even higher. Use the fire incense method. A moment later, Xia Lin said. The surrounding GU masters cried out in shock, trying to stop her. The rock dissecting GU master also said, "The fire incense method will seep into the inside of the sand cave rock. If there are GU inside, they will be killed before they are extracted. Just do what I tell you to do." Charlene was expressionless. The surrounding GU masters immediately sighed. Someone said, "This little girl is betting with others. She is not even a newbie, she is just messing around." But Xia Lin had a confident expression, she even had a trace of leisure. The rock dissecting GU master shook his head. "Since you have decided, I will do it. Everyone can see that I am not trying to ruin your plan, you requested it. Use the dripping method. Blue pattern method. Change to a different chi method. Next, Xia Lin continued to speak, giving instructions calmly. The sand cave rock had already been cut to the size of a fist, but no GU worms came out. The rock dissecting GU master had an unfriendly expression. He thought that Xia Lin was purposely making fun of him. She knew some rock dissecting methods and spoke nonsense. All right, give it to me, I will dissect it myself. Xia Lin suddenly said. What? The rock dissecting GU master was stunned. He quickly reacted and let out a breath of air, handing the rock to Xia Lin. Xia Lin bit her tongue, spitting out a mouthful of blood at the rock. She used gather oil GU to suck the rock. Crack. The rock broke open. A rank 3 GU worm was revealed. There really is a GU? What GU is this? I have never seen it before. It is still sleeping, it looks like it is intact, it is not injured. The surrounding GU masters went into a small commotion. The rock dissecting GU master was completely shocked. He looked at Xia Lin in a daze. He was filled with doubts. Is this little girl really pretending to be weak? The yellow-scaled merman also stopped dissecting the rock. His expression was dark. Even if he dissected it, his rock only contained a rank 2 GU, while the other party had a rank 3 GU, and it was alive. There really is a GU. Master Chu was right after all. Xia Lin was overjoyed. In the crowd, Fang Yuan smiled lightly. Actually, there was no GU worm in this sand cave rock, it only contained a GU material. Fang Yuan instructed Xia Lin. He was indirectly instructing the rock dissecting GU master to refine this GU material. Eventually, Xia Lin dripped her blood and used gather oil GU to complete the final step. Normally, refined GU worms would be lively, but Fang Yuan's GU refinement method was special. The refined GU worms would fall into a hibernating state. This was a perfect disguise. All the other GU masters present were deceived. Not a single person noticed any clues or loopholes. Quasi-Great Grandmaster attainment level in refinement path was not a joke. Everyone could not remain calm. The way they looked at Xia Lin had undergone an earth-shattering change. Who sent you? The yellow-scaled merman growled. His previous demeanor had completely disappeared. He realized something was wrong. Thoughts were racing in his mind. These years, he had offended many people. He felt that this Xia Lin was a bait. He had fallen into someone's trap. Using a rank 5 GU as a trap, it was truly a huge move. Calm down, calm down. I cannot take the risk anymore. The other party came prepared. The yellow-scaled merman wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He focused his gaze. He still had trump cards. In this golden jade house, there was a batch of special rocks. These rocks were not formed naturally. They were fake rocks made by the yellow-scaled merman himself. He first placed dead or alive GU worms into a hibernating state. Next, with them as the center, he added more rocks outside. Finally, he created a natural rock that looked like it was real. Rocks that contained GU worms usually had some external characteristics that made them different from ordinary rocks. This kind of stone was not easy to find. Sometimes, to solve the problem of the gambling den's shortage, the yellow-scaled merman would create fake rocks himself. Of course, not all of these fake rocks contained GU worms, some only had special characteristics on the surface. Third round, loss. Fourth round, loss again. The surrounding GU masters were in an uproar. No one had expected such a result. Everyone was sizing up Xia Lin with wariness and seriousness. The yellow-scaled merman's expression was pale. He gritted his teeth. There was a trace of ruthlessness in his gaze. He was like a wolf that was forced to the edge of a cliff. This is the final round. I cannot lose. It seems that I need to use my greatest trump card. The yellow-scaled merman's trump card was naturally huge. He hid the remains of a rank 5 GU in one of the fake rocks. According to the rules of gambling, only a living rank 5 GU could defeat him. Both sides chose their rocks and dissected them. Snap. Fang Yuan snapped his fingers. Time Path Immortal Killer move. The entire Golden Jade House and even the island went silent. Everyone and everything was motionless. Fang Yuan walked out of the crowd, arriving in front of the yellow-scaled merman. He was staring at the fire in front of him, dissecting the rock meticulously. Fang Yuan walked to the rock and squeezed. A rank 5 GU worm's remains appeared in his hand. Next, he placed this GU worm into the rock that Xia Lin chose, returning to the crowd. At the next moment, time flowed again. For the fastest error-free novel reading, visit Chapter 1675. When the results of the 5th round came out, the yellow-scaled merman stood on the spot in a daze. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets. If he did not see it personally, he would not believe this. He clearly remembered the GU worm remains that he used to create the fake rock. But why? Why? Why was the remains of this GU worm not in his hands, but in the hands of his opponent? The yellow-scaled merman could not understand. Could it be that all of this is an illusion? He was about to go crazy, and his pale face suddenly flushed red. He suddenly pointed at Xia Lin, shouting in a sharp tone, "You cheated." The mermaid Xia Lin heard this and became furious. She was also kept in the dark. How could she know what Fang Yuan was doing? She rebuked, "A loss is a loss, everyone is watching, are you still trying to deny it?" The yellow-scaled merman looked at Xia Lin and the surrounding GU masters. His gaze turned dull as he muttered, "No, this is not real, everything is fake, this is all an illusion." He retreated, trying his best to escape this cruel reality. Seeing his pitiful state, the surrounding GU masters had complex expressions. Some of them looked at Xia Lin with wariness. The yellow-scaled merman was almost broken by Fang Yuan. Xia Lin did not want to give up. "Hand it over, you did not win a single one of the 5 rounds, this golden jade house is mine." The yellow-scaled merman's body shook like he was electrocuted. He reacted and shouted in a frenzy, "No, this is mine, this is my foundation, I cannot let anyone else take it. Don't even think about it, not unless I die. Sir, if worse comes to worst, we'll just fight to the death." The scarred merman stepped forward and spoke with a fierce and sinister expression. The yellow-scaled merman's body shook again. He had the same thought, but after being reminded by the scarred merman, he came to his senses. No matter who the other party is, this mermaid girl is just a pawn on the surface. The other party is able to trick me without me knowing. I have no way to resist. With such strength, how can I fight against him? If I were to fight, wouldn't that be courting death? Although the yellow-scaled merman didn't want to part with the golden jade house, compared to his life, the latter was more important. The yellow-scaled merman looked around. His instincts told him that the enemy was among these GU masters. He was suspicious of everyone he saw, but he couldn't confirm their identities. "I admit defeat, I admit defeat." Suddenly, he dispelled the technique on his body and laid on the ground like a dead fish, shouting and screaming. He prostrated himself on the ground and admitted defeat. "No matter who you are, I admit defeat, okay? If you want to kill me or torture me, do as you please. But even if you want me to die, please let me know why I died. How did I offend you?" The crowd was in an uproar. The yellow-scaled merman's actions were unexpected. There were some who felt disdain, but there were others who felt that he knew when to bow and submit, that he was quite the character. To be able to be an unscrupulous businessman and to be able to stand tall here for decades, he was indeed not that simple. Xia Lin was also stunned. At the same time, deep admiration for Master Chu surged in her heart. She knew that this was all because of Master Chu's instructions. Without his guidance, Xia Lin would be in a worse state than the yellow-scaled merman. Now that she saw the yellow-scaled merman kneeling and begging for mercy, Xia Lin felt joy and joy. "It's time." Fang Yuan smiled lightly, continuing to guide Xia Lin. Xia Lin said to the yellow-scaled merman, "Do you know why you lost?" Seeing her speak, everyone quieted down. The yellow-scaled merman raised his head, looking at Xia Lin. "I don't know, please guide me." "Because someone wanted you to lose." Xia Lin said something useless. The yellow-scaled merman's heart shook. He quickly kowtowed. I understand. Xia Lin continued, "Do you want your golden jade house back?" "Ah!" The yellow-scaled merman was stunned. What was this? Of course he wanted it back, But he could not grasp the other party's background. What did she mean by this? Was she playing with him, or did she have other intentions? Xia Lin continued, if you want it, I can give it back to you, but I have a condition. The yellow-scaled merman kowtowed again. Great aunt, please tell me. Xia Lin looked at the yellow-scaled merman on the ground, saying slowly, the reason why you ended up like this is because you asked for it, you committed too many evil deeds. From now on, if you do good deeds, and turn over a new leaf, I'll spare you this time. I will also return this golden jade house to you. However, you have to remember that if you continue to do evil in the future, we won't just be taking this golden jade house. Once she said this, the surrounding GU masters showed strange expressions. After going through so much trouble, Xia Lin and the person behind her actually had such a plan. Reprimand evil? This was a rare sight to behold. The yellow-scaled merman was surprised too, but he did not dare to show it on the surface. He quickly said with gratitude, I will change, I will definitely change, I will definitely repent. Great aunt, you are the benefactor in my life, you made me realize my mistakes. You are like a saintess that descended to the mortal world, guiding people to do good and saving those who are lost. I was wrong, I was truly wrong. Thank you, saintess, for giving me this chance. From now on, I will be a good person, I will do good deeds for the rest of my life. The yellow-scaled merman kowtowed and apologized. His attitude was very direct, he was pitiful like a 3-year-old child. Xia Lin's face turned red. I am not a saintess, I am not qualified to be one, don't speak nonsense. You have to do what you say, we will be watching you. If we find out or someone reports you in the future, you'll be in for it. Saying so, Xia Lin turned around and left. The surrounding GU masters immediately made way for her. The moment Xia Lin walked out of Golden Jade House, she vanished without a trace. At the next moment, she was teleported to the edge of the island by Fang Yuan. It is safe here, you can go back now. Fang Yuan did not appear, he transmitted his voice. Master Chu, you saved me again, how can I repay you? Xia Lin called out in her mind. Master Chu. Master Chu. We will meet again if fate allows it. Fang Yuan said as he smiled, memories appeared in his mind again. On the beach, Fang Yuan caught up to Xiehan Mo and the rest who were about to leave the island. Please wait. Xiehan Mo and the rest stopped. The two guards stared at Fang Yuan unhappily. Lad, don't chase after them. If you want to repay us, stay away from us. Do you know, the saintess could have stayed still this time, but in order to save your life, she had to show herself. Now, we can't find any evidence, the other party is even more vigilant. I know. Fang Yuan breathed roughly. What do you know? The blue-scaled guard rolled his eyes. Fang Yuan chuckled, he raised his head and looked at Xiehan Mo and the other mermen. I was too rash earlier, but after this matter, I have seen it clearly. I know that you are the current saintess of the Merman Imperial Court, you are here to investigate the corruption of Frost Tide Tribe. Thus, I can help you in this matter. Because I have operated a gambling den before, I know about the tricks involved. And Frost Tide Tribe's main source of money laundering should be that gambling den from earlier. Saintess, please give me a chance, let me repay you for saving my life. The blue-scaled guard and red-scaled guard hesitated, they turned to look at Xiehan Mo. Xiehan Mo's thick eyelashes drooped down before lifting up slightly, her clear eyes stared at Fang Yuan. After 3 breaths of time, she nodded. Thank you, human GU master. I have not asked for your name. My surname is Guyue, my name is Fang Yuan. You can call me Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan laughed heartily. For the fastest novel reading, please visit Chapter 1676. Time passed quickly, more than 20 days went by in the blink of an eye. In front of the merit obelisk, Fang Yuan looked at the ranking with his arms behind his back. His ranking on the merit list had already fallen to the 5th. Initially, he was at the top, but a change occurred soon after. Some GU immortals found that as long as they focused on this merit obelisk, they could find many choices. These choices had a price tag, they could use their accumulated merit to exchange for them. Immortal materials, immortal GU recipes, immortal killer moves, and even immortal GU houses. They had everything. According to the accumulated merit of Miao Ming Shun and the rest, they could only exchange for the lowest rewards. Rewards without enough merit points were like a carrot dangling in front of a donkey. It greatly stimulated the GU immortals' enthusiasm. The competition became fiercer and fiercer. Fang Yuan's attention was elsewhere. His target was Regret GU. Regret GU was very important to Fang Yuan. Even though the rewards displayed in the merit obelisk were generous, they were only icing on the cake for Fang Yuan. Regret GU was a timely help. It could help him change qualitatively. But among these rewards, Regret GU was not present, neither was the obelisk itself. This meant that the rewards here were very limited. Even if Regret GU was not in the rewards, it did not mean that this paradise did not have Regret GU. Fang Yuan did not waste these last days. He collected clues everywhere, he chose missions with a goal, he used wisdom path methods to deduce and eliminate all sorts of doubts. Eventually, only demon suppression Regret Crying Sea remained in his vision. There were many rumors about this sea area. After Fang Yuan's deductions, there was a high chance that Regret GU was hidden here. However, even though Fang Yuan knew the location, he could not get close. The mission from 20 days ago was to punish the unscrupulous merchants. It was the closest place Fang Yuan had gotten to. However, he had also tried, and after leaving the small island for less than 15 kilometers, he could no longer move forward. How can I enter demon suppression Regret Crying Sea? This problem gave Fang Yuan a huge headache. Paradise Earth's arrangements were too powerful. Fang Yuan could not do as he pleased. Fang Yuan's attainments in space path were not very strong. He had tried fixed immortal travel before. It did not work, even though it was an immortal killer move that he created later on. This also meant that once Fang Yuan left this paradise in the future, fixed immortal travel wouldn't be of any help to him if he wanted to return. As for these people, Fang Yuan looked at the names of the other GU immortals on the merit board as he squinted. He planned to keep these people. On one hand, there was a huge risk in killing GU immortals in paradise. On the other hand, these GU immortals could earn merit points to exchange for mission rewards. They would be like fattened chickens and ducks. Once they left, Fang Yuan would make his move. Not only would it not be too late, but he would also be able to reap even more benefits. Therefore, not only did Fang Yuan not frame them, he even tried his best to help them by providing them with more detailed information. The competition between Miao Ming Shun and the rest became more and more intense. Especially since he could investigate the mission rewards. After all, these rewards could be exchanged for by anyone. Whoever exchanged first would get it first. They would not get it if others got it. Thus, even though they did not assassinate each other, there were more and more schemes, and fake information. In this situation, the sincere and honest secluded cultivator Chu Ying stood out like a crane in a flock of chickens. Miao Ming Shun and the rest did not say anything on the surface, but their impression of Fang Yuan was growing day by day. The turning point came 3 days later. A new mission appeared on the merit obelisk: head to the sacred city of the mermen and participate in the sea god ceremony, protect the sacred city from the attacks of sea beasts. Once this mission appeared, it was chosen by Fang Yuan. The chance I have been waiting for has finally appeared. Fang Yuan was very excited. The sea god ceremony was a special ceremony of the mermen. In this ceremony, the single men and women of the mermen would form a new family, and more importantly, they would choose a saintess. The saintess had an extremely high status in the merman society. And Fang Yuan had already gathered crucial information. In this paradise, the saintess role was even more important. After every saintess was chosen, their first mission was to enter demon suppression Regret Crying Sea and use their singing to calm the killing intent of the giant demons at the bottom of the sea, stabilizing the demon suppression sea area. The missions on this merit obelisk are all for the benefit of humans and mermen. They are for the common people, they are for the good and punishing evil. After the saintess is chosen, she will definitely enter demon suppression Regret Crying Sea. Maybe by then, there will be related missions. But no matter what, I need to take this mission first and come into contact with the saintess in advance. I have been waiting for this day and night. The sea god ceremony is finally here. Xia Lin pushed open the window of the inn. Immediately, the clamor of the street assaulted her senses. Her room was on the second floor. At this moment, Xia Lin looked down from the window. She saw that the street was filled with people. They were rubbing shoulders with each other. The signboards were like flags fluttering in the wind. There were shops selling snacks, gambling dens. All of them were doing very well. Xia Lin's mood was also affected. She became cheerful. Plop. Suddenly, there was a soft sound as a pearl jumped onto Xia Lin's window. Xia Lin was stunned. A blush flashed across her face. Pearls had extraordinary meaning in the sea god ceremony. They represented a proposal of love and marriage. Someone threw a pearl to Xia Lin. It meant that a man had taken a liking to her and wanted to marry her. Who is it? Xia Lin did not dare to pick up the pearl, because the action of picking up the pearl had extraordinary meaning. She looked at the street. She saw dozens of men raising their heads and looking in her direction. They were still throwing pearls in their hands. Su Yi, I love you. Accept me, Su Yi. The men who were throwing pearls shouted loudly. Big sister. Someone called out to Xia Lin. Xia Lin's gaze moved and stopped at a young man on the street. He was a merman, but his clothes were tattered. He was clearly from the slums. The merman young man's face was red as he shouted at Xia Lin. Big sister, I was the one who threw the pearl on your window. I am too weak. I did not manage to throw it. Please throw it to me. Xia Lin instantly understood. This young man wanted to throw the pearl to Su Yi, but he was too weak. He did not succeed and the pearl landed on her side. Lady Su Yi is indeed a famous beauty. Her charm is too great, be it young boys or old men, they are all infatuated with her. Xia Lin breathed out lightly. Waves surged and swept up the pearl on the window. It floated down and landed on the merman young man's hand. Thank you, thank you. The young man was overjoyed. He threw the pearl high into the air. The pearl continued to rise. This time, the direction was very accurate, but Su Yi frowned and slammed the window shut. The young man's pearl crashed into the window and fell down. More than 10 other pearls had the same fate. These pearls were different. Some were as big as longan fruits, some shone with golden light. They were not ordinary. But on the street, the men did not scatter because of the rejection. They became even more passionate. More and more people heard that Su Yi was staying here and hurried over, wanting to catch a glimpse of her beauty. Of course, some wanted to throw their pearls. What if she took a fancy to them? A bunch of boring mortals. Su Yi frowned. A pink cloud dragged her fishtail as she slowly floated down the stairs. She was beautiful and had a proud expression. The most attractive thing was her snow-like white scales. Merman scales had different colors. White scales were 1 in a million. It was considered the purest color and was highly respected by the mermen. 2 mermaid nannies followed behind as they muttered. These guys, why don't they look at themselves in the mirror? They want to be under Lady Su Yi's skirt. What a joke. Our Lady Su Yi is competing for the saintess. She will not accept any man's pearl. The merman saintess was pure and flawless. Once she became the saintess, she could not marry and had to maintain her virginity. Xia Lin walked out of the room and lowered her head. Big sister Su Yi. Little sister Xia Lin. Su Yi revealed a faint smile as she hid her arrogance deep in her eyes. How was your rest last night? Have you thought it through? Thank you for your hospitality, big sister Su Yi. At this time, all the inns are full. Without you, I would not have a room to rest in. Xia Lin immediately thanked her. The mermaid nanny smiled. It is fate that you met our Missy. In the vast ocean, 2 mermen could meet by chance and get along well. It is a great opportunity. I am too straightforward. Normal mermen would love to get to know our Missy. Su Yi was not just a simple white-scaled merman. She had a noble background and was the beloved daughter of a powerful merman tribe leader. Nanny Rong, what are you saying? I met Xia Lin because we hit it off. Xia Lin, you don't have to worry. If you have something urgent to do, just go. After all, if you follow me and participate in this sea god ceremony, you will be taking a huge risk. Su Yi walked to Xia Lin and grabbed her hands, saying with a sincere expression. Xia Lin was moved. Big sister Su Yi, you have helped me so many times along the way. Since you want to compete for the saintess position, I will definitely support you. But I am afraid that my strength is too low. After all, there are only 4 followers. Su Yi's eyes shined as she grabbed Xia Lin's hands, saying excitedly, Xia Lin, thank you, with your help, I have a higher chance of becoming the saintess. Xia Lin's cultivation level was very low, she was only rank 2, but she had a rank 5 GU worm. Gather oil GU, this was a top-tier rank 5 GU worm. Of course, this GU worm did not have any offensive power, but Su Yi had found out about the saintess test. In one of the rounds, Gather oil GU would be very useful. For the fastest and most up-to-date novel reading, please visit. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.